'Twas the night before ACEN, and all through the Hyatt, everyone was stirring, even the Riot. Is this bit working? Anyway, welcome back, everyone, to the Off the Balcony podcast. We are recording this at a very unique time because currently, right now, as me, Stephen, and Hannah are recording this, ACEN is happening, and we are.
It is ACEN Friday.
Yep, and we will be there. We won't be there together, but if you want to meet up with Off the Balcony, you can find them at one of the Love Live meetups that they are certainly going to, and any other events.
The one Love Live we're going to go to is 5 to 6 tomorrow. I don't remember which flag it's at.
I think 6, if I remember correctly.
So if you're one of our many fans, or you just think that podcasting is cool, come on down to that Love Live event and go meet up with these two. I'll be just wandering around with my lady.
Lady.
Yeah. And I will definitely be pillaging all of the physical media tables.
Yeah, you will find Discotheque Media's table hates to see you coming.
Yeah. Bad news for Discotheque. I woke up. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's ahead of us directly for tomorrow. No panels from us this time. Because it's...
I mean, honestly, I'd be a bit scared to panel during ACEN just because it's so fucking huge.
And keep in mind, I've been paneling since 2017. I still don't have... I'm not brave enough for ACEN. I'm really not.
Look at the ACEN maps. They have rooms in that convention center I didn't know existed.
Yeah. Well, because they opened the whole thing up for
Yeah, they
ACEN.
have to use the entire convention center and a shit ton of the Hyatt.
Yeah.
I mean,
just to accommodate all of ACEN.
Yeah.
And as an aside, 2 of the 3 people in this unit work as some type of education. So and they can't exactly take off the last 5 days, and ACEN normally falls within those 5 days.
Yeah. The school contract is that we can't take off the first 5 days of the school year and the last 5 days of the school year, and
because they know everyone would want to.
Yeah, and ACEN is pretty much always within those last 5 days.
Yeah.
It's Friday right now, and my last day of school/work is Wednesday.
Well, I don't want
Wednesday of this upcoming week.
I don't want to speak for these guys, but I think I only have the energy for a con that because we're talking ACEN is big.
It's literally the biggest con in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's the biggest con in the Midwest, and it's up there around like anime conventions like Anime LAX in Los Angeles, Anime New York City is another...
Oh, Anime Expo?
Yeah, Anime Expo. I don't know. LAX is the airport.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fucking convention's in the airport?
I thought for a second there you were trying to say Anime Weekend Atlanta is AWA. So I don't know why I was thinking that one when you...
Well, Atlanta might be a big one too, but...
Oh, yeah. I think MomoCon is one there that's like one of the biggest cons.
Yeah, so keep in mind, part and parcel of living, of having a convention in such a big city, like New York, LA, Chicago, the big convention is going to be bigger. It's going to be like 20 times bigger than most of the cons that we go to, and 5 times bigger than like the biggest cons that we go to. So it's intimidating, but part of me, like kind of
I mean, if we're ever invited to go.
Yeah, the part of me, like the Herman Melville side, is like, that's the great white whale there. But, so yeah, ACEN's going to be a lot of fun. But, I don't know, do we want to do like a, kind of like an announcements about, like, remind everyone where we're going to be this summer before we start talking about what we need to talk about tonight?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so just a reminder, I know probably for the next couple of episodes I'm going to sound like a broken record, but if you want to see us, so...
I think our next con coming up, well, after ACEN, of course, is QuadCon Springfield. It happens June 8th.
June 8th.
And of course, since it's a little tiny con, we're not going to be hosting any panels. We're just going to be there wandering around.
Yeah, but if you want to, say hi, we wouldn't be opposed to that. Well, it's in the Crown Plaza right off the highway there in Springfield.
Yeah. So Springfield's not too far from us. We're just going to go down there, wander around, and then after that, going to hit up a golf course we saw last time we were in Springfield.
Yeah, that's like sure, we'll do a con, but there's some golf down the road there.
Yeah.
And
Might just wear my Birdie Wing cosplay again.
that'd be perfect. So, but if you want to see us, like, really, back in action,
You'll have to see us at the end of June.
at the end of June, from June 27th to 29th, we will be in Davenport, Iowa, doing...
My first time in Davenport.
Yep, doing Planet Funk Con.
And this is a con where it's the first time Planet Funk Con for all of us.
Yeah, we've never been, so we have no expectations, really.
Well,
Yeah, I haven't even really found much information about Planet Funk Con. I just know it's been running for like 5 years now, and they've got some pretty wild assortment of guests.
Top tier talent.
Yeah, I know the most recent guests they've been getting a bunch of people from VR Troopers.
Oh.
There's an old show.
The funny part is, so your boy now works up north a little bit, and my benefits don't kick in until the second day of Planet FunCon.
Oh, nice.
so
you have to hold off on the alcohol poisoning for one day.
yeah, just leave me to suffer while you guys go party for a night, and then I'll be up there pretty soon, I guess. No, I can probably take that day off and say, hey, I'm gonna be out of town, but
Yeah, Fridays they make you work remote, right? So you could probably just tell them, hey, reach me through phone.
Yeah, or just be like, hey, internet connectivity troubles. But so yeah, first time Hannah will be visiting Davenport, which we're excited to take her around the city. Davenport's kind of a low key cool city. Like it's not an apparent place you would think of. Oh, that's a really happening town. But you go to Davenport and you can do. There are a lot of cool little bars and taverns there. So
from the way you guys talk about it, it seems like they have a pretty cool bar scene.
Yeah, it's very cool. I gotta get one of those cherry bomb blondes though. Those things are. You remember those, Steven? They serve them in the big fucking snifters or whatever. But so June 27th to 29th, Davenport, Iowa for Planet Funk Con.
Did they ever get back to you about which panels of ours have been approved yet?
No, but they said this weekend, so I assume that's going to happen either tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to hold them to that, because if I don't hear word on Sunday, I will email them again on Monday.
Any updates?
Yeah, it's like... I'm not even pushing them. Hey, I want every single one of my panels. I just am
I just want the con's a month away. I want to know.
Yeah, I just want to and we're not bitching here. We just want to be able to manage expectations about what people can expect from us and what we can do with our free time.
Yeah, it's I don't even need to know the times yet. I just want to know which things to be prepared for.
Absolutely, and then
I don't think for Planet FunCon we're doing any new stuff.
No. It's all old hat for us at this point. So then
though we will be doing new stuff for the next con after that.
Anime Midwest, right?
Oh wait, yeah. I was thinking of Iowa there, but yeah.
But you are doing something new for Anime Midwest.
Oh yeah, I do have a new panel I'll be cooking up after this week.
Right.
So, just want to finish out this school year, then I'll start prepping all the new panels I've been thinking of.
Do you want to introduce that new panel? Just the idea of it?
Sure. I want to piss off shonen bros.
It's the easy group to piss off.
Yeah. So, gonna be making a satire of power scaling of characters that could beat Goku by somebody who hasn't seen Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Just gonna put together just an intentionally shitty looking MS Paint Comic Sans PowerPoint of just different characters from different media that I feel like could beat Goku.
Right. Which I'm really excited to hear how that goes, because if it's a hit, we will definitely reincorporate that for AkiCon and Anime Magic Inked.
Yeah.
Hi, Shonen Bro here. I will be in pain the entire time.
So yeah, Anime Midwest, of course, Hyatt Regency O'Hare, July 4th to July 6th.
Yeah, 4th of July weekend, baby.
Yep. And if you want to catch Off the Balcony, Steven and Hannah will be there. I will be there, but I will not be touring with Off the Balcony that weekend. However, the same cannot be said for July 25th to the 27th, when we will be going to Anime Iowa together as a group.
Time to christen Wade to Anime Iowa.
And Heather
He
too.
is gonna get so drunk.
Get very drunk.
So
and there's a Top Golf there. It's like
Yeah,
there's
right.
an X
On
Golf.
the-
oh, X Golf.
yeah,
Excuse
X-
me.
So we booked a stay at the same hotel me and Steven stayed at last year.
Same type of room
The
too.
Homewood Suites.
Yep.
Has very cool hotel. It has a full kitchen in it too.
Yep.
It's more of
Yeah,
a kitchenette, but they have a lot of utensils everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's only about like a 5-minute walk from there to the convention center. It's like pretty much just right down the road.
Shit, I won't make it. X Golf is gonna pull me in there like Jupiter pulling an asteroid.
Yeah, right on that little 5-minute walk between our hotel and the convention center. There's X Golf, an antique car museum, and so many bars.
So that's the two boys just gone, right?
Yeah.
Like two ships in the night. But I
Okay,
can't.
if there was a guitar store there, I would be gone as well.
And for Heather, if there was like
A comic shop. Or...
a comic shop, she would just
all of us would be gone.
we never
having
made
our
it to our
accessible
panels.
con.
We were all too busy doing our niche hyperfixations.
We had to take the path out back out and around so we can avoid the fucking distractions.
Yeah, exactly.
Had to cross through the parking garage.
Oh, real quick, because I do have information here, because Anime Iowa has been communicating with me kind of in a staggered fashion as they're
piecemealing the schedule
they're
together.
piecemealing the schedule, so I can share what we're doing, what we know so far.
Yeah, we submitted 9 panels.
And we've got 5 in so
Yeah,
far.
well, 10 things if you count that I submitted a Love Live thing for when they opened up photo shoot / meetup applications.
Which we have visual confirmation that that's in their system,
Yeah,
so...
'cause they posted all of the photo shoot / meetups that have been sent.
Yeah.
Not necessarily approved, but the ones that have been sent, and Love Live was on the list.
Yeah, so that has to be you. And if it's not, we'll just take over that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what we have so far is... So Friday night, we've got a 2-hour Waifu Wars block.
Hell yeah.
We've got
Like,
10:30 in the morning.
Did we even ask for extra time for Waifu Wars, or did they just give that to us?
I don't know. Because these things are recorded on Google Forms, and those don't really keep track of what you actually put in. So I don't know if I did that.
Yeah, I feel like it's only sometimes they actually give you a copy of what you submitted.
Yeah. So Friday we've got the Waifu Wars. Friday night. Saturday morning at 10:30 we've got the golf panel. 10:30 at night on Saturday we have the new music anime panel.
Yeah, it's a new panel we've been putting together for like our fixations like Love Live, Bocchi and stuff. We realized we've been watching a lot of music animes. We should make a panel about that.
Yeah, and actually, funny enough, tonight's anime roundup will be a lot of music anime. Yeah. You'll see, you can always kind of tell when we've got a new panel in the oven when you catch a certain theme in the anime that we've been watching.
Oh yeah, speaking of the golf anime panel, we have a few shows we need to update for that.
Surairo Utility and the new Tonbo.
Yeah, Tonbo has a season 2 that we still haven't seen yet.
Yes, and we will get to that. So that's Saturday. Sunday, we've got the Love Live panel at, I want to say 11, might be noon, and then we've got Transformers at 1:30.
Nice.
So that's our Anime Iowa, and then
Which is weird because a lot of the things that are like the usual shoo-ins for cons now, like Angst and Regret, Cursed Media, Lost Media, those haven't been approved yet. But
yeah.
Like a lot of our new experimental stuff has been,
which really does my anxiety a lot of good. It's like, okay, we can't do Old Hat, but okay, we'll put on the new set.
Yeah, just be like stand-up comedians trying out a new set at a dive bar.
Yeah,
We're just going to a con we're not super duper familiar with putting on a new set.
Oh, dude, let me tell you, I've had panels that have been great. I've had panels that have been bombs. And when a panel bombs, because it's disappointing, because you spend like weeks, trying to put together a panel that you think will work, and then you actually put it to the test, and it's like, it doesn't, it doesn't pass the heat check. But then, like, it makes the good panels that work out. And I've had more hits than misses. And when a panel hits, it feels amazing. But yeah, I have complete confidence that our new panels are going to do good. So yeah, July 25th, 27th. That's Iowa City, right?
Coralville.
Coralville,
That's
Iowa.
The University of Iowa's stomping grounds.
Yeah, Coralville, Iowa, July 25th to
think our
27th. You can catch us at Anime Iowa.
Our hotel that is literally right across the street from the University of Iowa, like med student center.
Great.
I don't think it's necessarily a hospital, but I know it's the place the med students study at.
We'll treat it like one.
Getting your stomach pumped there is like getting your hair cut at the barber college. Anyway, so that's Anime Iowa, and then if you still haven't caught us yet, you can catch us because we will all be together again. August 22nd to 24th, we will be at Anime Magic, same place as Anime Midwest, the Hyatt Regency O'Hare, Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. Haven't had word yet on what panels we're doing for that, but that's normal because that con isn't for another, at time of recording, 4 months. Still about 4 months out, so we're hoping to get word by July, because that's usually when we get word.
Yeah, speaking of July, we have until July 1st to submit for a con we wanted to go to last year, but we had NebraskaCon instead. It was the first time for it last year. It was Anime Aki.
Oh, yeah, AkiCon.
In the Embassy Suites in Peoria.
So if you've ever been
that con is in October.
Yep. And so we will get a panel list. We're hoping to get a panel list put together by the end of the month, so that way we can start submitting early, mid-June.
Yeah. Which I do have a panel I want to put together and submit for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Due to something we watched that we'll talk about during our anime roundup, Wade has been getting into Vocaloid now. I have been going back into my old teenage, all the songs I used to listen to, Vocaloid when I was a teenager. So now it's making me want to put together a Vocaloid boomer history lesson.
There you go. And so that's Anime Aki in October for in Peoria, Illinois. And then Anime Magic Inked. We had such a great time last year that, of course, we would want to go back and do Inked.
Oh, yeah, another little one I forgot about in July. I think it's July 19th, where there's a QuadCon in Peoria at the Peoria Civic Center.
Yep.
I know Kurt Angle is going to be there.
Oh, dude, I can't wait.
Going to throw Kurt Angle in the mix.
Our attendance may or may not happen.
We'll see what it's your brother's birthday.
Yeah, my little brother's birthday. That on the 19th there.
Well, speak for yourself, because I'm not missing Kurt Angle. Yeah, I love Kurt Angle so much. If you see me do wrestling panels, you know why. If you know, you know. But anyway, so that's our upcoming con schedule. I guess we'll call it on announcements, because that's all I have to say about.
I'm gonna add a little announcement. We are looking for artists to commission so we can actually open up a Redbubble. We need one more. So if anyone knows somebody, please point our direction. Our email is offthebalcony21@gmail.com. Thank you.
I keep forgetting to commission Sarah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm finally starting to get money. I got my first paycheck today.
Steven's got a big boy job.
Yep.
And, another update. Since Steven has that new job, it's in a different city, so we may be moving we will be moving closer to the Chicago area.
Yeah, but don't worry. The show will still be releasing with like the same frequency that it already releases with, which is pretty
once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely Wade and Steven don't mind traveling a little bit.
Yeah.
We'd only be moving like an hour and a half up north.
Yeah, it's like sorry to use this phrase again. It's old hat for us at this point. So big things are happening. But speaking of driving, let's get into the con that we went to and since the last time that we recorded, because at the Midwest Toy and Comic Fest that we went to in Springfield that we covered in our last episode, we found out that there was going to be another Midwest Toy and Comic Fest
1 month later.
1 month later in Decatur, Illinois.
Which is about the same distance from Springfield, just a little bit more south.
Yeah. And that coincided with a complete, happenstance road trip that Steven and Hannah took.
Yeah.
During our spring break, we decided, since it was only about an hour and a half away from us, we decided to go to the original Burger King that you might have seen on TikTok and Reels, other stuff, because I've been seeing a lot of memes about it lately.
Or if you're an older head, you might remember it from like one of those shows on like the Travel Channel, where it's like they'd go to like weird restaurants or something like that. Because the story behind this place is actually pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's in Mattoon, Illinois.
Yeah, beautiful, like old Illinois town.
Old Bones, Illinois.
Yeah, yeah.
Cute little small town. There's a little diner there, cute little diner, where it's called a Burger King.
Yeah.
And they had the name first.
They had the name first because the Burger King that you're familiar with,
It was started in Florida.
Florida, a few years after, because the Burger King that's in Mattoon got started in 1952. Yeah, 1952.
And the Burger King in Florida was like 58.
Yeah, it was several years after that. But as Burger King like started to expand, like really in the 60s and 70s.
It's like they started hitting Illinois. It's like, wait a minute, something isn't right here.
Yeah, and there was like a whole court case about it. I don't know how far in the court system it actually got before it was resolved, but
I think because it's like at Burger King in Illinois they had the name first, but so they had the copyright to that, but Burger King in Florida had the business copyright. So
That's not copyright, it's trademark.
Oh yeah.
So this is where my nerd comes in when I've been watching LawTube for like years and years. So trademark, everyone knows like trademark law is kind of weird. It's the was it late?
To put it mildly.
One people might be familiar with recently was Lady Antebellum versus Lady A. That's Lady A's estate.
Yeah.
As far as
Lady Antebellum was changing their name due to
Southern.
Yeah, the 2020.
Yeah,
the 2020.
I can imagine.
The Dixie Chicks are now the Chicks. And Lady Antebellum tried to change their name to Lady A. However, Lady A was a well-known blues and R&B singer from 60s.
Oh, yeah, I could see exactly how that would be problematic.
So they tried to do a new album under the new name Lady A, and Lady A's estate caught wind, and they're like, "No, you don't." So they sued him under trademark. But I think the ruling in that one was, since Lady Antebellum was in country and Lady A was in blues and R&B, there isn't a branding mistake issue.
Uh-huh.
Also, one has not produced in like, I don't know, 78, like, was it 60s, 80 years? 50 years.
Yeah.
50 years. One hasn't produced in 50 years, and the other one's still kind of producing, even though their band's kind of dead in the water as of now. So technically there was no issue. So if we translate that to the Burger King issue, Burger King in Mattoon held the trademark in that area of Illinois for 6 years, and well, maybe at that point, it might have been like 8 to 10 at that point, and then the other Burger King tried to swoop in and take it. So what happened is they got all the way to the judge's final decision, where the judge ruled that since they had the trademark longer than the one trying to expand into Illinois, the one in Mattoon got to keep it, and I think part of the settlement is that they can't build a Burger King within 20 miles.
Correct.
20 mile radius. My funniest bit is after that ruling, Burger King went to the original family and tried to pay them off like $10,000 and like.
Oh, and they had the money for it.
Yeah, $10,000 in 60s money to tell them to go away. In today's money, I think that's like $250,000 if I'm right.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And the family said, "No, we make money. Go away."
Yeah, and now, thanks to that court case and all of that, business hoopla, the Burger King in Mattoon, Illinois, is like, it's a really neat little, like, not just tourist attraction, but kind of a little slice of like American cultural history.
Oh my god, the seats are just one color.
Yeah.
The food there is so cheap. And the fries are the best fries you will ever have.
Yeah, they're like original beef tallow fries. So the way that me and Heather got there is that day we had the Decatur Con. We were going to go golfing after the Decatur Con.
And realized Mattoon isn't that far away from Decatur.
Yeah, so it's like let's just make a day of it. We'll have fun. And so we pile in the car. Me and Heather pile in the car with Steven and Hannah, and we drive.
Just went down to Mattoon for lunch.
Yep, and I gotta tell you, that was a goddamn good burger.
I think they have a family meal deal there. Where it's 4 burgers and a pound of fries for like 20-something bucks.
22.
Elite. We all just chipped in like $5, and we had lunch for the day.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we didn't even finish the fries there, so we were just snacking on fries in the car on the way over to Decatur.
Yeah. So I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say about this. I mean, it's like Steven said, it's this tiny little diner, probably no more than like 80 seats in there.
8. Well, with how wide people are getting in nowadays, I'd probably take that down to like maybe 70 or 65. But
First time when me and Steven went there over spring break, the food there was so cheap. I spent less than I was expecting to spend there, so I went ahead and bought a T-shirt.
Yeah, you do have. I saw their little gift area. I thought about it, but I'm like, nah, I'm going to a con today anyway, so I need to pick my battles here. But anyway, so Burger King was fantastic. We peel out of there and we make a drive that was. I just want to say the drive between Mattoon and Decatur was one of the most. I don't want to say one of the most bizarre experiences in my life, but I want to say 2 minutes in, we saw a Confederate flag just fluttering in the wind.
I realized the southern half of Illinois is weird.
Oh, it is. I mean,
so
we saw
many little ghost towns.
We saw like little Amish, like buggy cart. They weren't like on the road being pulled, but we saw them like.
So I forget the name of the town. I think it was something that was like a woman's name. Like, it was like Elizabeth or something, or something similar to that. It's like, hey, we're just as a welcome to whatever the town's name sign was. And then immediately just a huge cemetery.
Yeah. and
then it's like, right when the cemetery ended, right across the street was like this building that had like the barbershop pole and one of those like medical symbols, like the Red Cross.
Yeah, it was probably like a local town doctor whose practice is in his fucking parlor room.
And if he messes up, you know where you're going.
Yeah. All right. We're pulling chocks and going to Decatur for this one.
Got a classic barber here.
Yeah.
He'll take scouts.
And I'm serious. Like, you'll see signs like outside someone's house that say groceries sold here. Do you remember seeing that? There was like a little.
Oh yeah, we passed by a store called Bimbo's Bakery.
Oh yeah, we passed by their factory. That was pretty hilarious.
Oh yeah, and we just started making jokes in the Love Life server the whole time. But yeah, so driving through country Illinois, it's kind of a vibe though. Just do it in the daytime is all I'll say.
Oh yeah, we saw a town called Pana, Illinois on a sign. And thought Pana, like Hanayo. It's like, we should go there and take a Hanayo Nesso there. So I just looked up the town on Wikipedia. Wikipedia, there's a line called Pana was recognized as a sundown town in 18-something. Nope, not taking
Hot, bad Hanayo! Oh god, don't. Oh dear. I mean, that's horrible, but that's kind of what you see kind of remnants of that out in rural Illinois, because rural Illinois is we're only hop, skip, and a jump away from the old South. So
speaking of that, this just came to my head. So I work in, I don't know if I could say, I work in Kankakee. I'm not gonna say what I do, but I work up there. The next town over is called Montments, and you guys may recognize that because they use that town as a backdrop for the Monster series that Netflix is airing.
Oh yeah, the season about Ed Gein.
Oh yeah, because he was around like kind of. I think he was in Indiana, but I know he probably jumped borders at some point.
Montments probably has that feel of old town.
So yeah, driving through rural Illinois can be like weird, but it can also be kind of pleasant and peaceful because like you just don't see anyone for a while. You see houses and shit. You just
Yeah.
don't see people.
Now that I think about it, I don't think I saw a single person
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
drive over.
Except for people in cars on the road with
Yeah.
us. So, but anyway, so we pull into Decatur after, I don't know, we were probably on the road for maybe 40 minutes after.
It was an hour flat.
Hour flat? Okay. I was going to say, it felt shorter because of all the weird shit we were seeing, but,
I would say we left Mattoon about 1, got there about 2, and then spent probably like 45 minutes at the
oh yeah,
con
because we
itself.
had to change the tea time
Yes.
to make it more palatable with our schedule. But anyway, so we pull into the Decatur Con. Hannah, you were dressed as
Owie from Birdie Wing because we were going to go golfing after the con.
right, and we didn't run into anyone who mistook Hannah for anything. Heather, of course, had her aqua. What are those robes called?
Hoppies.
Yeah, the
Happi.
Yeah, the hoppies. Very cute. She looked very cute. So we get into this little Decatur Con. I actually have the photos pulled up, and there was some cool stuff there. Like there was one of the trucks they used in the movie Twister was there from 1996.
Oh, yeah.
There were some good booths there. I bought I made another legendary con poll this time because there was an original copy of the Chronicles of Narnia, the show that...
Oh, yeah, the BBC series?
Yeah, the show they did for British television back in the 1980s. The whole box set was there in Region 1 DVD, which means I can play it on my DVD player. So scoop that up and me $2.
Damn.
$2. You can get so much good stuff at these little... This is why I can't stress this enough. Support your local cons, people,
Yeah.
because you can get a lot of good stuff there, and you meet
Find
some pretty
historical polls.
yeah, his like elite polls. But I'll talk more about what I got at that con later. Did you guys grab anything or see anything
Yeah.
that really piqued your interest?
I think the only things me and Steven bought were bucket hats.
Oh,
And there's
yeah.
one booth that had bucket hats. I think all 4 of us got.
Yeah, we ended up all buying bucket hats.
Oh, and I bought some trading cards that day too. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
For Magic?
Oh, yeah. You
Okay.
also bought a card binder.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. That's
So
right.
there.
Is
Yeah, I'll get it out of the plastic bag real quick.
It's Pokemon themed.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I was like, oh, that looks cool. I almost thought it was like a Trapper Keeper or something.
Kinda, but
But
but for cards.
yeah. So there were a lot of cool people there. I sometimes I just like to, rap with certain vendors because kind of the most memorable part of that con for me is so there was a guy there who was selling like these big boxes of
Oh, yeah. It was Red Box.
yeah.
Red Box is gone under now, but it's like the little like CD case things. Just
Like the
with-
thing that the machine would vend out
Yeah.
to you was he had, and he told me the story because I got to talking with him as I was like flipping through the DVDs, and I was like kind of asking him, hey, how did you get a hold of all this stuff? And he was like, well, I was working he told me he was working the show out in Indianapolis, and he ran into, I guess he was on like a lunch break or something from the convention, and he told me that he ran into, or maybe he contacted a regional distributor for Redbox, and this would have been around the time that the company was about to, or maybe it had just gone under. And so what he did was he said, hey, look, I'll get these off your hands. I mean, he bought like, and he ended up getting like 9,000 DVDs for like just basically pennies on the dollar. He got them for nothing, effectively. And so he's been like kind of just selling these off just to make a little scratch here and there because he didn't pay that much for these things.
It was like $1 per movie.
Yeah, it was $1 for, and if you got enough of them, he would like have the price, which he did for me, even though I didn't quite make the mark. So shout out to that guy because I ended up walking away with like 9 DVDs.
I remember we were at that booth for like 15 minutes just going through every
Well,
single
because
one.
he had like these 4 big like
huge boxes.
they were
full
like
of-
card boxes, like boxes that you would like put stacks of trading cards in, except instead of trading cards, they were these DVD cases. So I'm thumbing through those, and I ended up walking away with, around 8 or 9 DVD. Modern movies, too. I mean, I kind of lament the fact that I don't have the original box, but, that's just kind of my nerd part coming out of me. But I was happy with what I found. I mean, you got to remember, at certain cons, the vendor's hall, for lack of better words, might be pure shit. But sometimes at these like little cons where it's like you diversify from beyond anime, you get into like old classic TV shows and cartoons and stuff.
That same booth, you had all the red box DVDs. There's also, if you had like $200 to shell out, get Beatles cartoon, the full band.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Ringo had his neck snapped a full 90 degrees.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Ringo, when his mom drops him more than once.
Me mother dropped me once. So then we any more words about Decatur?
Not really. Not that I can think of.
Because we weren't there that long. Not because it was like a bad con or anything. It's just there wasn't a whole lot to do there. So we finish up in Decatur, and we head back home to play 9 holes of golf at favorite little 9-hole. Like, basically it's a learner course, but man, it'll kick your ass sometimes.
Yeah. Speaking of golf, last time we went golfing,
you got a birdie.
Yeah, not only did I get a birdie, I also beat my last high score too.
Yep, you sure did.
Yeah, so now my current record is a 45 on 9 holes.
Yep.
If she gets any better, we have to make her hit from the wides.
Well, she's been improving a lot these past few games, so...
It's going to be really hard in hole 4 when she starts losing a bunch of balls.
Yeah. Gonna make me start hitting over water.
Hey, that's important part of learning how to golf, is to deal with the abject failure that you can't get it over a fucking 15-foot pond.
Yeah. I lost my pink golf ball that I called Bochi the ball.
Right, we gotta get you a box that has, like, pink golf balls so that you can just decorate them all like Bochi. Like, put
and
one...
just, like, yellow and blue Sharpies, just draw the cubes. Yeah,
the cubes. Or, like, get some green and, like, so you can do the little dinosaur, Bochi the dinosaur. But, so yeah, it was a really, really fun day. It was a very fun day. Like, wasn't, like, the most con-heavy day, but it was still definitely a grand day out, as Wallace and Gromit would say.
Also on our last one, I almost made a hole in one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got it onto the green in one shot.
And it bounced right in front of the hole, too. So close.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean...
And then I hit the building on the way back in, so it's all good.
Full circle. But, alright, so should we start in on our anime roundup?
Sure.
Okay.
This will be the first one in a long time where we don't say the words fairy tale.
True. I mean, well, you just did, but...
Oops.
But, no, I mean, this is the first time in a long time we haven't done anything with fairy tale, so it'll be kind of interesting to see what we do with this segment. But, so the first show that we watched was my pick, and it was very much in tandem with the upcoming...
the theme we're going for.
In tandem with the music anime panel.
Yeah. Panel prep.
Yep, panel prep. So, it's a classic anime called
Beck-Mongolian Chop Squad.
Yeah, Beck-Mongolian Chop Squad. If you're an old head anime fan, you've almost certainly heard of this show.
This was like the definitive banned anime at that time.
Yeah. I mean, since 2005, which is when the show...
If you were too masculine for K-On!, this was the music show for you.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed Beck. I thought it was a very, like, realistic, down-to-earth kind of show. The only thing that really bugged me was every now and again it would be, like, down to earth. It'd be like, bandmates fighting and everything. Like, you see it, like, of course, like, we're big music history nerds. We know bands fight all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But
you are an Oasis fan.
Oh yeah, which is like, it took them 15 years to get back together. So
I took 15 years for Liam and Noel to stand being in the same room again.
Yeah, so comes with the territory. It's just they would do like stupid stuff like
I mean, you hated the Ryusuke.
I have complicated feelings about Ryusuke. Actually, no, I do hate him. But I think he's an interesting character. Just because you hate a character doesn't mean that you dislike them or think I actually think the writing and the performance of Ryusuke is very, very good.
Yeah. I think there's Eric Vale.
Yeah, Eric Vale gives one of the best
Yeah,
performances.
it's like one of the first times I've heard Eric Vale in a serious role.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I've only known Eric Vale for like 2 roles, well, because I didn't grow up with Dragon Ball. I'm not counting Trunks, but I knew him for America from Hetalia when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then also Desert Punk.
Yep.
Which is the opposite of this show.
Which he would have been recording Desert Punk around the same time he would have been.
Your mother's a dirty
whore.
whore.
Yeah, yeah. But Eric Vale turns in a really good performance as Ryusuke. So, I won't go over the plot too much, but it's basically about this young kid
that's pretty much God's worst boy.
Yeah,
the universe is against him
for the first half of the show, but then he joins him.
He meets Ryusuke.
Yeah,
and then realizes, oh, I really like rock music. I want to learn how to play guitar.
Yeah.
Then ends up joining the band.
Yep.
And they realize he has a really good voice, which Greg Ayers voices Koyuki, the name of the main boy.
Yep.
And they also dub over the songs in it because most of them were sung in English anyway.
Yeah.
So they had the English dub actors sing them and just kind of fix the grammar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, who knew Greg Ayers could sing that?
Greg Ayers can sing beautifully. Like, oh my god! And in his solo songs, holy shit! I gotta, like, next time I see him at Midwest, I need to ask him about
where did this come from?
Yeah, because I didn't know one way I didn't think that Greg Ayers couldn't sing. I didn't have an opinion one way or the other. I just didn't know he could do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, well, maybe you pick up, like, little tips and tricks as you're, like, getting in the weeds on voice acting, but...
I mean, pretty much all of these voice actor people, like, at least the early voice actor people, were just theater actors that got kind of brought into it.
Mm-hmm. And I know Greg Ayers has musical background, like he's done stuff with bands, and
I mean, he's pretty much the Conrave DJ.
Yeah,
now.
And he's big into like DJing and doing techno music.
That's why we don't have his 18+ panels at Midwest anymore, because he has to host the raves now.
Yeah. After what I don't know, like probably something with who is that guy?
Scoff.
No. The rapper. The nerd rapper. What was his name?
I don't know. Oh, was it YT Cracker?
Yeah, YT Cracker. He used to do them, but I don't know if he just left the circuit or retired. I don't know what. But anyway, so yeah, I really enjoyed this show. The thing that was really good about this show, besides Greg Ayers' performance, I think this is probably the best performance he's ever done.
Yeah.
If, like, full stop, like, Greg Ayers has a very recognizable voice. So the fact that he made this character be so, like, real is a huge achievement for Greg. Not saying he's a bad actor. He's a great actor. It's just, when you hear Greg Ayers in a role, he's one of those,
it's him.
He's one of those actors that has a very distinctive voice.
Like a 50-year-old man that sounds like a 10-year-old boy.
Exactly. So besides Greg Ayers, the music in this was fucking amazing.
And I think this is the first time in Anime Club you never skipped the ending song, because the ending song is
My World Down by the in-universe band Dying Breed.
Where it sounds like a late stage Oasis song.
Yes, it actually sounds like a mixture between early stage and late stage Oasis.
I think you said it was like 2000s.
Yeah, Oasis. Well, when I first heard it, it sounded a lot like I Can See a Liar off of the Standing on the Shoulder of Giants album. But to me now, it sounds more like What's the Story, Morning Glory. The song Morning Glory off of the album of the same name. Because if you listen to this song, just imagine for a second you're watching Liam sing.
Sounds exactly like Liam.
The vocal inflection, like you can just see.
Definitely a guy just putting on the Liam Gallagher voice.
Yeah, because you could just see Liam wrenching the microphone right up to his.
It's like I think he performs like the word shine. Mm-hmm. Exactly the same inflection.
Yeah, and you go to the YouTube comments on this song, My World Down, you will see people, like, some of the most liked comments on there are like, this has such an Oasis vibe, this reminds me of Definitely Maybe, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, the music in it is really fantastic. There were characters in it that I really like Chiba was probably my favorite character in the...
One of my favorite things about this is that the other members of the band, I think there's Chiba and Tyro, were based off of real musicians. Where Chiba, the main vocalist of the band, he was based off of Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine. And he's voiced by the guy that voices the Yu in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yusuke.
Yeah.
Or Urameshi, if you will.
Because at Amki, I went to a panel by the Japanese voice actor for Yusuke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was one of the 2 Japanese guests they had there. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I didn't go to an autograph session, but I went to his panel.
So yeah, in universe, the band that they're creating, which is called Mongolian Chop Squad or actually, Beck.
Yeah, they're called Beck, but then when they have the plot where they're trying to break into America, the American producers tell them, yeah, that name Beck, that's the worst band name I ever heard, which
feels like a slight towards
the musician.
Yeah, well, he's a Scientologist. Who gives a shit? Or was a Scientologist, anyway.
Probably a Scientologist at the time.
Yeah. Oh, 2005, absolutely. But
yeah, so they have it. So when they go to America, the record label renamed them Mongolian Chop Squad. It's like, they're not even Mongolian.
But that sounds like a total American thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, fun bit of trivia. The record label that they get to sign them is canonically out of Chicago. They say that in the show.
Which actually, getting their name changed for America, it's actually what happened to another one of my childhood favorite bands, Hi Hi Puffy Ami Yumi. They're called Puffy Ami Yumi when they broke into America, got the TV show and everything, but in Japan they're just called Puffy, which they changed it when they got to America because of P. Diddy.
I bet they didn't like that change at the time. Now they're like, thank you, Lord, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Buddha, whoever, for keep. That reminds me of the story that, do you know the comedian Tom Segura?
I think I've heard that name before.
Steven, do you know that? Okay. So he had auditioned, one of his, biggest disappointments for the longest time was he was actually up for a commercial campaign. You know what that campaign was? Being Jared Fogel's brother.
Oh, no!
Yeah, and so at the time, keep in mind, for the campaign, he would have been making huge amounts of money. For a guy who was working, primarily in, reality TV and stuff, doing transcripting and everything, he would have been making so much money. But when he lost that gig, because there was, a change up in the Subway, leadership at the time, this campaign gets thrown out the window, and Tom's out of the job. He feels super disappointed. But
and a couple years later,
about 10 years later, he saw the news and thank God, because if he had been even associated with Jerry, people would have been asking about it. You know what I mean? So it's you never know. You never know with these things.
Sorry to bring it back to Sex Pests, but that also reminds me of a lost media story where this is right around when Rick and Morty was first airing, where they were gonna do Rick and Morty Subway collab commercials, where Rick and Morty would just break a portal gun into the Subway commercial, hey, we're the new Jared, and those commercials never got aired because right around when they were supposed to air, that's when the news broke.
2015, yeah. So yeah, to roll it back around to Beck,
honestly, I said that Chibo's based off of Zach De La Rocha, and Tyra, the bassist, was based off of Flea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
back
could tell.
Back when Flea was bleach blonde.
Was bleach blonde and carrying...
And always shirtless.
Always shirtless and... Well, it's the Chili Peppers. Most of them are shirtless anyway. Yeah. And was...
Tyra never wore a tube sock over his dick.
Yes. And also Flea was... Let's be real. Flea is like the heart of the operation of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
He's not only a great musician, but like... I feel like he is the glue that keeps that band together.
If Flea ever left the band, then...
That's the end of the Chili Peppers.
Everybody would remember Anthony Kiedis's...
Being Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah.
But, so, the band itself, the band Beck, reminds me a lot of... Because it's like, you know, you look for those musical parallels. Reminds me most of Rage Against the Machine, just in the way that they, like... The way they play.
That first song that you probably hear like 80 times in the show, where it's like their opening song when they get on stage.
Yeah.
Like they're all just playing and she was like that.
Yeah. And it's funny because like all of the music in it is so good. I got so sick of that song by the end of it, but I never got sick of the Dying Breed song. So that's just me. So anyway, I don't know. Finishing thoughts on Beck. Steven, what did you think?
I thought it was a good show. Let's see, the Flea character. He was
Tyra?
Tyra. He was voiced by Jerry Jewell.
Mm.
I cannot say that name for the life of me. Probably just because my speech impediments are kicking my ass, and I'm drunk. That voice actor, I think I introduced those two to him as
wasn't he in Fairy Tale?
Yeah, Leon in Fairy Tale.
Oh, right.
I'm pretty sure he's in a few other things other than Fairy Tale, but that's the last thing I remember him being in.
Okay.
But round it back. Very good show. I love the. I think I liked what's his face with long hair.
Ryusuke?
Yeah, I liked Ryusuke a little bit more than Wade.
I mean,
he's a good character.
He's a good character.
He's a dick, but
he's a very well written character. He's very interesting.
A very complicated character.
It's just I wouldn't want to be like within 5 miles of him. He just
I just love that scene in episode 1 where like the American guys are having a fight with him. He just pulls out a gun. It's like, well, it's revealed to be a toy gun, but he just pulls a gun on them. You know how many people I saw die in America?
Yeah. and then they're fighting him in the alley, got his shit rocked. It's
like, they found out it was a fake.
Well, because he pulled the trigger, and it had like a little flap. It was literally a Looney Tunes moment. So before I wrap up on Beck, I just want to say the reason, like, Ryusuke's I find him to be like a very pretentious asshole, but he's like that kind.
What musician isn't though?
That's my point. That's my point. It's such a well written part because it's so realistic. Like, you know, the guy who's who's like, man, it doesn't matter about the money, man. It's about the music, man. It's like, motherfucker, you sold your contract to the mob. What did you think was going to happen? But, that's like, just...
You literally stole a guitar from a blues legend.
Yeah, it's like, fucking dumbass. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on Beck.
Literally the note I have in my phone of, like, every show we watch, I just put a little blurb by it so I know my thoughts on it, and I put band soap opera.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. So
I was gonna say to finish up my part, it's a better version than Kids on the Slope.
Exactly.
Oh, definitely, way better. And the thing is that you can have characters that are meant to be unlikable, but have them still be interesting. Yeah. Like, it's very possible to do.
Oh, yeah. At least this show did have a love triangle thing for a little bit, but instead of Kids on the Slope where they made the love triangle the entire story, this one, they resolved the love triangle within like one episode by the two girls just talking it out.
Yeah. So that was...
And it's not even really shown on screen much, or it just kind of shows them, like, where it shows like the outside view of the restaurant where you can just see them talking, and then at the end of it, just like, yeah, she's a cool girl. No wonder you liked her. And then they leave.
Yeah, and I didn't like that character. I thought that character was unlikable too, Maho. But again, she's interesting.
Speaking of which,
she's very interesting and well written.
Can we just say that Ryusuke, whenever
Oh
What's his
yeah,
face?
whenever Koyuki was alone with Maho, he just slides him a condom.
Yeah, that was
Like,
okay. You know what? That was
brother. Brother.
that was actually a pretty funny gag. Not gonna lie, but
I like it the second time he tries it that she finds out and just like beats the other living shell.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's why that like Maho is also like this is just a very complicated family. They needed to be sent to boarding school or in the military or something. Anyway,
he had a job. He was fishing.
that's true. They got a lot of mileage out of that little fishing pool. But so final thoughts on Beck. I gave it a light S tier.
Yeah, I think I put it at a high A tier because I wanted more music from it.
Sure, no,
Yeah,
I get that.
I'd say A tier as well. The fact, I'll do. There was this one little thing because we actually watched the ED for this one.
Yeah.
And the scroll of all of the rock legends in it was probably pretty nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was a lot of good artistic direction in this show.
And one little thing I want to say about Beck too is that it's like probably spoilers for a show that came out like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, at the very end, it has the bands going on tour across America, and it just shows a map of the U.S. with different
that
cities.
map was wonky.
Yeah, there's some wonky parts, but the part I want to highlight is that Champaign, Illinois was one of the stops.
Yeah.
Illinois mentioned.
Yeah. Near
And-
where we
and
live.
Not even Chicago, but another Illinois city.
Yeah.
But do you have
An
the
Illinois city besides Chicago was mentioned.
That's actually one of the points I wanted to get to with this. Do you have the picture somewhere you can reach it real quick? Because
It's somewhere in my photo
as the
gallery.
resident geography dude, I have seen two messed up maps.
Oh,
There was one in Beck, and then there was one in Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, where so many states got merged together.
Oh yeah, didn't they have Floribama just melted together?
Yeah. No, it was
Florissippi, I think.
it was one of those states where it was like there was no border, so it just looked like it was a very. I almost started joking. Does Beck take place in a universe where the South won the Civil War or something?
Oh, found it here. Wait, no, it's Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and most of New York. Pretty much the upper
Yeah.
Pacific Northeast
yeah.
got
Let me go on my little rant about this section, right?
upper Northeast.
So, New York doesn't exist as a state, which may make people a little sad, but I find it pretty good. So,
in Vermont and New Hampshire are pretty much interchangeable.
Just gone. See, the only recognizable state, somehow Pennsylvania ate most of Maryland. Like, that little peninsula between West Virginia?
Yeah.
West Virginia survived unscathed.
Yeah. And Maryland, however, got eaten alive.
Oh yeah. Floribama is merged.
Florida and Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Floribama, it's like they don't have that panhandle where they had that L shape for
Yeah.
And like Mississippi somehow ate part of that shoe top of Louisiana.
Somehow the Midwest is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it is. I will say there's that little kind of weird cube state right under Illinois.
Oh yeah, right underneath Illinois, there's just a cube.
Yeah. Which doesn't make any sense.
Also, I will say they have Iowa City right where Davenport is. Funnily enough. So the Dakotas are fine, I think.
There's no East Dakota in there.
Washington State gained a little bit of a peninsula. I think that might be it. But New Mexico looks a little taller than it should be. But yeah, I think the most interesting part is just at the eastern border. Like
They just completely fucked the Northeast.
Like once they got past like Ohio, I think once they got past like Tennessee and Kentucky, everything kind of got wonky. Because
once the Japanese animators got to those tiny states.
I will say it probably reflects on where the most the Japanese land, because like the West all the way through Chicago, because Chicago and Ohio.
That's got to be why Champagne's on that map.
Yeah,
is because of U of I.
Yeah,
it has to be.
Yeah. Every time we've gone to UICon, most of our room is full of Asian descent.
Yeah. So it'd be the perfect place to for Beck to do a concert.
I'm just kind of laughing how they only think that Florida exists as a Florida Georgia. There's no Florida Georgia line anymore.
Thank Christ for that.
Thank God.
It's one band that definitely should not have existed.
Some universes have all the luck.
But I will say, I don't think Chapel Hill is. I might be completely wrong. Is Chapel Hill in
North Carolina?
Yeah, it's in Virginia in the state in this map.
Well, that's wrong.
That's very wrong.
I'm very familiar with Chapel Hill.
Oh yeah, Delaware sank into the sea. By the way, there's no Delaware. It's just an actual cove.
Oh.
Delaware
It's
sank
okay.
into the sea.
Joe Biden would have been out of the job.
I mean, that was always my psyop that I believed in when I was in high school, that Delaware didn't exist. At least the psyop I was trying to start.
Oh,
Well, there you go.
One more thing. So the Midwest isn't exactly perfect. There's that little bump of Minnesota that goes up into Canada and down.
Mhm.
That's gone. It's a lake now.
Is there any way that we can like put this map maybe in the cards or something?
Yeah, I can. What I can do is
Want to make this map the thumbnail instead of our original plan?
I can show for. I can
Well,
show
it's
for
a
this.
copyrighted image, so.
Oh, yeah.
You have the pause button on it, and we have it on the TV. It won't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So just pause around this moment if you want to
You know what?
get a review
what
of
I'm
our
gonna do?
geography section.
Yeah. When I get into editing of doing this, I will put that in, so you guys can see my geography nerd go off.
Okay.
Once we start talking about this section, you guys can just look at it as we are. So I just need that sent to my solo Facebook. That'd be great.
Hoboken was one of the stops.
That's a good one to do. So last review of Beck.
I'd say about 8. I gave it a solid A.
Solid A.
Yeah, high A for me.
I gave it a low S tier, though I admit that it has plenty of problems. I still love it. Anyway, moving on. So the next pick was Heather's pick, Needless.
A show I feel like we weren't drunk enough for.
Yeah,
No, it's because I had to drive.
that
I should say my little blurb that I put in my phone for this show is tits out for Jesus.
yeah, Needless is a very strange show. Like
Even the box art for it says like prepare for fan service.
So the premise of Needless is that like there was a big disaster and there's
World War
these
III happened in the
Japan
2050s.
got nuked again.
yeah
We showed them the third sun.
yeah and now Japan is like a wasteland and
No, just like the epicenter of the bomb in Tokyo.
yeah, well, it's needless, whatever.
Yeah.
And there are these super powered people, and I'm not doing a good job of explaining because I don't really remember.
Okay, so it's
Same.
okay. So
I think I kind of tuned out of it a little bit.
So since I'm the shonen bro, and this was actually kind of a shonen show, I guess being a shonen bro, you kind of pick up the plot out of all the needless shit.
Yeah.
Needless.
So the plot is that there's like some type of like dude who came, like an actual fucking person whose name was Adam came down.
Yeah.
I guess a messianic figure named Adam.
Oh yeah, and he's voiced by Andrew Love.
Yeah, good voice cast. Greg Ayers is back in this.
Yes, he
yeah.
is. In the epicenter where that bomb went off, people got like some type of crystal into their body system where they have like various like one-tone superpowers.
Yeah.
Unless your name's Adam, where your superpower is learning everyone else's abilities, so you can become Adam again.
Sure.
Sure. And then the other plot of it is they're trying to stop the mega pharmaceutical corporation from ruling the world with something.
That's kind of based, fighting Big Pharma.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
But I just don't have a lot of thoughts about Needless.
I will say, being able to pick up the plot, it is actually kind of good, and I did some research on the manga a little bit, because sometimes Fridays I don't have much to do for work.
I mean, it's not dysfunctional as an anime. It's perfectly serviceable. It's just not real. It just wasn't very interesting. It was a good anime to put on and have some drinks to.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, I didn't hate the experience. I want to make that clear. It was fun enough for what it was. You know what I mean? And that's why I just gave it a C tier. Like, it's okay.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it.
I just wish I was more drunk for it. I think the day we finished it was on a Sunday, so I couldn't really drink that day because of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I ended up falling asleep because I think we had golf earlier that day and I was just tired.
No.
No.
Yeah. Oh no, I think we had golf the next day.
No, we golfed after that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I know something happened or I just kind of got eepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as the resident shonen bro, I'd say it's very, I'm not sure what studio produced this. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but you can tell it was probably inspired by Trigger and doing all that type of like over the top shit.
I think this was a while before Trigger.
Yeah.
Might have been when it was still Gainax.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, probably was Gainax.
Yeah. Studio Trigger exists because there's a bunch of animators that split from Gainax.
Yeah.
You can tell where what happened.
That's why we're getting a new season of Panty and Stocking this year, because you can tell Panty and Stocking was the people that went into Trigger, but it was still under Studio Gainax then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like, that's why it took forever, like almost 10 years to get a season 2, because they had to grab the rights from Gainax.
I'm sure it was a
At
whole
least
thing.
it's
They
not
finally
Dragon Ball.
did, though.
Yeah.
At least it's not like Dragon Ball where Shueisha's being a little bitch about it.
Maybe I'll finally get Sarah to get her Panty cosplay together so that we can finally be Panty and Stocking like we've planned since we were in high school to do.
So let's wrap up with Needless real quick. I said C tier. What about you guys?
Same.
Yeah, it's a little bit probably higher C2 than U2 because I actually kind of found it at least a little bit interesting. But
you're the shonen bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't hate the experience, but it just kind of wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So, next we have to talk about the big experience. Someone made their big film debut. Miku. That is right. We went to the first ever feature film of the one and only Hatsune Miku.
Yeah. Technically, it's a Project Sekai movie, but
it was
it was Miku's big screen debut.
Yes, because the character that you saw. Well, let me pull up the actual movie poster so I can get the title right. Can a white boy catch a vibe at the Miku movie?
I think it's called Project Sekai Colorful Stage. A Miku that can't sing.
Yes, Colorful Stage, the movie. A Miku who can't sing is the name of the big film debut of the one and only Hatsune Miku. And so that was what Hannah was talking about when she said that I was getting into Vocaloid stuff, and that is specifically because I had such a great time with the Hatsune Miku movie. And so before we dive into the movie, I suppose because we've kind of got three different perspectives here on Hatsune Miku, someone who's kind of into it because of your relationship with Hannah. We have someone who's super into it.
Yeah, it was my huge fixation before I got into Love Live, and I was still into Love Live, and though I kind of fell out of the modern fandom around like the Vocaloid 5 era.
Mm-hmm. And then my girlfriend Heather
She's still into the modern era?
Yes, and was super happy to go see the Miku movie with all of us. And then me, who doesn't know shit about fuck when it comes to Hatsune Miku.
Yeah. And the Miku movie almost made all of us cry.
Yes, the Hatsune Miku movie. And this is coming from someone who had very little prior exposure to Hatsune Miku or Vocaloids or any of that kind of stuff. I love this movie. This movie was fantastic. I saw a review online. It's kind of like the main critic review, and
the main review of it is that they throw, since this is more of a Project Sekai movie than a Vocaloid movie, so it's like there's 20 different characters this movie throws at you, and they just expect you to know about them.
Which I don't disagree with that criticism. I'm just saying that for me personally, as someone who had zero experience with any of this stuff, I was able to follow it fine. You know what I mean? I would sometimes be second guessing who a certain character was, but it wasn't enough that
which I feel like the Vocaloids and the human characters are pretty distinctly designed so that you can tell them apart.
It's oh gee, the one with the flowing costume is different from the high school boy who's in a band.
Yeah, which as somebody that when Project Sekai actually released on Global back in like 2021, 2022, I actually did play it for like a couple months before I had to upgrade my phone, and then it ended up deleting my account, and I was just too lazy to install it and go through everything again. So I know the first round of band stories, but that's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I could give you guys a little run through of the different bands.
Well, how about we talk about the movie? But as we're talking about the movie, to give like context to what what we're talking about, you can say like, well, like what band am I talking about? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I want to say that what I loved most about the Miku movie, and this is a big relief, is Miku herself. Miku in this movie it's very interesting because this isn't like an origin story movie for like Hatsune Miku or something. The whole world knows who Hatsune Miku is.
In the lore of Project Sekai, Miku is a very popular character. It's just like she is in real life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
just basically the story of the game is that there's like 5 different bands in it that are all based off of like each have 4 different people that are all like 4 people in each of the 5 groups where they all have a problem, and then they realize there's a song called Untitled on their phone. Then when they click on it, they get transported to a place called Sekai, where there's a specific version of Miku there that helps them with their problems.
Right, and now that you say that, it actually gives context to the movie, because the plot of this movie is that Miku is...
She's trying... There's a Miku in like a gray hoodie that's been trying to reach out to people, but she can't reach them.
And she even says that her music can't reach people anymore. So it implies that it could before, but now it's not working. Like, you see Miku, they actually do some pretty interesting, it's almost like something out of Serial Experiments Lane when they show...
Where you kind of see her like on the screens, but she's just glitched out.
Yeah, and I gotta say, they make Miku a character which, I'll be real, I wouldn't know how you would write for this character, but they do something really good. They make her instantly endearing, because you see her struggle being like, I just want to make people happy, and that's like it's a very easy, but it's also very immediate and good way to make us identify with her. It's like Miku just wants to make people happy, but people aren't happy, and that makes Miku not be happy.
Yeah.
And so Miku starts going around to the different bands that Hannah talked about, trying to recruit them for like...
Trying to figure out, how can I reach out to these people like I did with you?
Yeah, and what they come up with is kind of like a comeback special.
Yeah, so like they have Miku like sing the song that she's trying to sing to those people, like, hey, we'll finish that song for you.
Yeah. To, like, try and reinvigorate not the memory of Hatsune Miku, but, like, the spirit of Hatsune Miku.
Capture the vibe in their own ways.
Yeah. Which will reinvigorate Hatsune Miku so she can bring joy to the world again. And speaking of which, as she's going around to make this mission a possibility, so she's going to these different band members, right? And the way she reaches out to them is through...
She appears on the screens in their schools.
Yeah, and there's one moment where there's this character...
named Toya.
Yeah, Toya, where he's like...
he's eating some bread, and then sees Miku appear on his phone.
He's so stunned that he just drops the bread loaf like right out of his hand, and it's so all of us. And I think the whole theater
he is one of those characters where he's just stoic, just doesn't really change his facial expression much, but is still just goofy.
Yeah, exactly. And his group is the
Street Rappers.
Yeah, and
Vivid Bad Squad.
Yeah, Vivid Bad Squad. I think they were my favorite when I started diving into this material after the fact. But halfway through the movie, Miku actually disappears.
Where she loses hope in reaching the people she's trying to reach, which me and Heather had a knowing glance during this part where Miku says thank you and goodbye, where she says arigato Soshite Sayonara, which is how the song Disappearance of Hatsune Miku ends. That
Heather told me about what that was.
Is a song about Miku being deleted.
Right. Yeah. But the show must go on, as they say, so they still organize the concert, and then they do this music montage where it's set at the concert, and the music is really, really good. Like, each song kind of plays off of the last one to a certain extent, and each song, like, there's the Vivid Bad Squad, there's the rock group, who are the other groups there?
There's an idol group.
Right here, I actually do have the list of the bands pulled up, so I'll just give like a little one-sentence type, really short blurbs of each band.
I'm going to keep playing with this Miku here.
Leonid is the girls' rock band, where...
Oh, yeah.
The story of that one, where a girl named Saki, who's the keyboardist of the band, it's a whole band of childhood friends, but the keyboardist Saki ends up getting hospitalized due to her chronic illness. Then she comes back to school and meets up with a guitarist friend, Ichika. It's like, hey, I can't wait to get the band back together. Hey, why are you guys not talking to each other anymore? It's like the band ended up drifting apart based on just the trauma of her getting hospitalized, and then Miku helps the band get back together.
Oh, okay.
And then there's More Jump, which is the idol group, which has a Love Life Say You in it. Ruby.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Which I think she's in the film as well.
Yep. A girl named Minori is obsessed with idols, specifically one idol named Haruka, where Minori just never passes any idol auditions, but then finds out that Haruka quit being an idol and is now transferred to her school.
Yeah.
And she ends up meeting up with two other idols that quit their agencies, Airi and Shizuku, which Airi, who's voiced by Ruby, quit because she wanted to be an idol, but then just ended up being comedic relief on variety shows. And then Shizuku just got bullied out of her other group.
Aww.
So then they all end up just getting attracted to Minori's just, I'm not gonna give up attitude. So Miku helps them all get back into idling together.
Okay.
And then there's Vivid Bad Squad, which is just two groups kind of merged into one.
Yeah, they had the best song out of that concert sequence, in my opinion.
Yeah. So that's On meets up with a little shy girl named Kohane. It's like, I love you. Let's form a unit together, which they form a unit called Vivids, and then Akito and Toya, the boys, they have a unit called Bad Dogs together, and then they just eventually just Miku and the other Vocaloids just say, hey, why don't you guys just collab together? And then they become Vivid Bad Squad.
Yeah. And the more you talk about this, the fact that there's like Miku and different Vocaloids with these other like human musical groups makes more sense in the context of the game, but it didn't like it wasn't enough to like take me out of the process of the film. So
it's like, oh yeah, this explains why Miku's in so many different outfits. It's everybody's own Miku.
Yeah.
Then there's Wonderland's Showtime, which is the circus group.
Okay.
There's the big actor boy Tsukasa. Who decides, I'm gonna make my big break as an actor, joining this amusement park's stage show group. And then he ends up meeting a clown girl named Emu, who like her family owns the park, but she has control of just this little tiny stage in the park. It's like, I'm gonna revitalize this tiny stage with the help of Rui, who's eccentric director boy with the multicolored hair.
Yeah, I like those characters.
And Nene is the shy girl that has the robot that looks like Miku Dio.
Right, yeah. So in the process of the film, all these different groups kind of come together. They put on this really amazing concert. Like the songs are really, really good, and that like brings restores Miku. Everyone remembers like Miku being like this great musician, and then all the groups come back to Sekai, where they actually have to make a final goodbye to the main Hatsune Miku in the movie, and it's quite an emotional moment in the film. I found it to be pretty emotional because
Oh yeah, one moment that hit emotionally for me was it was actually the last group that we talked about yet. It was 25 o'clock at Night Chord, which is a group that meets up at 1 a.m. on Night Chord, which is like that universe's version of Discord, where they're a group that basically girls that only know each other online that write songs together, where basically their plot, at least their first introductory chapter in the game, was them pretty much convincing their lyricist Mafuyu to not kill herself. So,
oh no, please don't kill yourself, you're too cute.
It's basically her whole thing is like she wants to, they never say suicide in the game, they just say I want to disappear, where she pretty much just hides inside of Sekai.
She says it without saying it,
yeah,
effectively.
Everybody pretty much just goes in there to try to save her, and Kanade is the white-haired girl who's the composer, who's actually voiced by Tomori Kusunoki.
Oh, so we got 2 Love Live seiyus in there.
Yeah.
I thought we had 3 at some
Like,
point.
she has the whole savior complex thing. It's like, I need to write a song that saves you. So she ends up convincing her to not kill herself there. But the moment in the movie that kind of hit me with that was when Kanade tells Mafuyu, I need you to write the lyrics for this song. You're probably the one that knows these people's feelings more than anyone.
Oh.
It's like, oh god, that hit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's stuff for, obviously, the hardcore fans like Hannah and Heather, but there's also, like, a lot of stuff, like, it's not alienating to people who don't know this material. I should know because I knew none of this material, and I ended up loving the movie, so...
Yeah, the movie was great. I knew nothing about Project Sekai. I was having fun with it.
Yeah.
I think probably the bits that probably just, like, almost broke me was, you know what... spoiler from the movie, I guess. Here, if you guys want to skip it, I'll yell non-spoiler at the end of this segment. But
when Miku was disappearing,
when the Mikus were disappearing, and I think it was like the carnival one.
Oh yeah, the Wonderland Miku.
Where she's jumped, like Kaido has her hand, and then like the stuff touches her, and then she goes.
He's reaching out his hand to save her, but doesn't get her in time.
Well, no, he has Miku's hand. It's just that when the sludge touches her, she just vanishes.
Yeah.
And so he's just sitting over there and just depressed in the corner, looking at us, and like she was right there.
Yeah.
I almost had her.
And then when she came back, it was all happy.
Yeah. Well, I think I got most emotional when Miku had to say. I was telling Hannah this when Miku had to say goodbye to all of her friends. That's what.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, here's what was cool. So the movie ends, and then Hatsune Miku addresses the audience and says, "Did you like the movie?" And everyone cheered, and then they put on a little 5-minute concert. I don't know if you knew what the song was, or
I think that's a song they wrote specifically for the movie.
And everyone started vibing with it. Hannah and Heather were the only ones who brought like light sticks.
Oh yeah, it's like. We went on the second day's showing for it, but there's somebody in the server we're in went to the day 1 of it and said, there's a little after show at the end, so bring a pen light if you have them, and me and Heather had pen lights, so we brought them.
I kind of figured they were going to do some kind of musical number that was like outside of the canon of the film. But I thought it was a nice musical number.
Yeah.
It was no Popey Po, but we all have our favorite songs. So
which one thing I forgot to do before this was actually re-listen to the movie songs and rank them. So yeah, I feel like that would have been something fun to do, like we did for our next pick. But I forgot. It's
okay, but So looking back on Hatsune Miku's big film debut, what rank would you give the Hatsune Miku movie?
I'd give it an S tier for Miku's big debut. I mean, we all almost cried during it.
I gave it an S tier as well. Definitely.
Yeah.
Saki Fujita, I almost said Hatsune Miku. Saki Fujita, who is the voice of Hatsune Miku, and also voices Koshitan in the Nokotan anime, and
And
Ymir in Attack on Titan.
And I forget her name, but she's the catty girl from Birdie Wing.
Oh,
The girl that looks like Shioriko.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. So she's a great actress and gives a very emotional performance as Hatsune Miku beneath all of the... Because they have to modulate her voice so she sounds like Vocaloid.
Yeah, which I don't think they even had Saki Fujita for that. I think they just used the Miku software to voice all the Vocaloids. Which...
Well, I hope she got paid for that.
Fun fact, I'm not sure how, and I don't think I've ever seen any interviews with Saki Fujita specifically about Miku, but I do know that a lot of the Vocaloid voice actors are really happy with voicing Vocaloids, which
I'll bet.
I know Kaito especially is voiced by a guy named Naoto Fuga, where if you follow his Instagram, like pretty much every day he posts about, it's always a post featuring a Kaito plushies and stuff, just saying, my son is very happy today.
Aww.
I found more merch of my son. Like, even his Instagram bio is, I am Kaito's dad. And, apparently, I get posts from the Vocaloid subreddit on my feed a lot. And, like, somebody was asking about, like, do people who go... Like, do the voice actors for Vocaloids ever go to the Vocaloid concerts? And somebody brought up the fact that Naoto Fuga probably does, and she said that his day job in real life is doing vocal lessons for universities in Japan.
Oh, okay.
And apparently he just goes into his vocal lessons just riding a bike, and the basket of it is full of Kaito plushies.
Aww.
Imagine you're a fan of Vocaloid, but don't know what they do as a day job, and you roll into college, and then you just see a guy with all this Kaito merch come in. You're like, oh fuck.
Actually, I still love the video we did for like a couple years ago, the anniversary of Kaito's release, so Kaito's birthday. He's just going through his house where there's Kaito plushies in like every corner, saying, "You are so beautiful."
Oh, I think you sent me some.
To me.
Yeah, I think you sent me that
just
video.
Going through his house singing that song until he reaches like Kaito cake. Happy birthday, Kaito.
Cute. So we all give the Miku movie an S tier?
Yep.
Yeah.
We officially caught a vibe at the Miku movie.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
White Boy did catch a vibe at the Miku
White Boy
movie.
did catch a vibe at the Miku movie. So moving on, we finally, after about a year, got to watch the first Nijigasaki movie in the trilogy that is...
Finally watched the first movie for one of my favorite Love Live groups.
Right.
It officially got subtitled while we were at Amkey, but still took us like a month or two after that to finally watch it.
Because someone had to pirate it.
Yeah.
But
you know what?
It took forever to finally hit the pirate sites.
Yeah.
Well, at least we're not torrenting it, because Sony's trying to get it to where they can cut off your internet access if you are caught torrenting anything.
Oh.
Fuck Sony. Anyway.
Thanks a lot, assholes. Anyway.
Still gonna do it.
So this was the first movie in the trilogy. The plot is well, I guess first impressions, like kind of how did we feel about this movie? I thought it was good. I thought it was a bit threadbare story-wise, but I thought the characters were good as usual, because Nijikasaki's greatest strength is its characters. And the songs were particularly good. It almost feels like this movie was an excuse to, like, put out this album of songs, kind of.
Yeah. It's like, the commercials were hyping up just all these little stories happening. And then just felt like you blinked and they were over.
Yeah, well, the movie's only an hour long. And
it just felt like I was watching one episode.
And you factor in how long those songs are in the actual runtime of the movie, that's like a sixth of the time already gone. So
yeah, I know. So much of the advertising was focused around Shizuku's song, so it's like I was thinking, oh, Shizuku's going to be a major player in this. Nope. Her song is in the first 10 minutes, and it's just it's like after she performs, like, I got the jump on all of you, and then they reveal the whole plot of it. It's that it's basically the Love Live, but for solo idols, just to prove who is the most popular school idol individually. So they're just all the individual school idols are doing little live stream concerts, and then getting tracked in popularity through an app.
Right. Yeah. Which not a bad story. It just I just don't feel like they put enough weight behind it. Like just once Shizuku's little song ended, she was just out of the story. Yeah, I mean, she was still with the group because the bulk of the movie takes
half of the group went to Okinawa.
Yeah, and that half was Kasumi, Shizuku, Lanzu, Ayumu, Emma, and I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
You appeared at the end, but
Kanata, Emma.
Oh, and Kanata. I forgot that.
Kanata, Emma, Kasumi, Ayumu, Lanzu,
Shizuku.
Yeah.
So those 6 go to Okinawa. And
Kasumi doesn't get a solo, so there's just 5 songs in it.
I gotta be real. Without a song, I almost forgot Kasumi was even in this movie.
I mean, I just remember she has one beef with Lanzu's mom.
Oh, yeah. That was actually pretty funny.
Beef with Lanzu's mom. I guess Lanzu's mom just slides Lanzu a hotel key saying, basically saying, if you're not going to do your best, don't even bother. I think Lanzu just takes it as she's going to rig the competition, and then Kasumi takes it that way too, where like Kasumi goes to confront Lanzu's mom, and Lanzu's mom is like, I just told her to do her best. Everybody's trying to do their best. This is a competition. Everybody's trying to win.
Yeah.
I was just building a stage.
Yeah, that was actually a very in character confrontation for as far as Kasumi was concerned. I wish Kasumi had gotten a song, but you had talked about some
I'm guessing
they were doing those solo songs, but Kasumi was the first one, so
yeah, and then the anime happened, so I think that's just where the budget went. So kind of Kasumi was the only one to actually get a full song length animated music video, and like Muteki Q Believer.
Yeah, and that's a good song.
Muteki Q Believer.
And like thinking back on it now, I think that they wrote the movie. They wrote the movie so it wouldn't have to have a Kasumi number.
I think if they do have a Kasumi song, it might be in the 3rd movie.
I would hope so because, I mean, I love Kasumi's songs, but
Kasukasu's alright.
It's Kasumi.
But so yeah, where this movie really comes into its stride is like the songs in the film are kind of the backbone of it. Yeah. And ranking those is kind of like where this movie is where this movie's at, basically. So we'll go through the songs one by one and talk about what we thought of them. We
talked about Shizuku's one, or Rise Up High was the name of it.
That was a good song. I thought it had a good beat. It was a kind of a different vibe. Well, it wasn't
different than what Shizuku usually performs.
Yeah, because I think Shizuku's songs, this is just my take, but I think that her songs are a lot more kind of subdued.
Yeah,
and this
she
one
has like the slower ballad, like musical theater ballad stuff.
And this one, Shizuku is just all out there, and
I feel like her song sounds more like a Lanzu song than the Lanzu song we got.
Yeah, and Shizuku's fit in the looks more like Ai or Karin.
Yeah. I would cosplay that fit though. You could probably thrift that outfit if you had to.
Yeah, probably. But I like the Shizuku song.
That's definitely one of my top favorites.
It was really good.
I've had that song stuck in my head all week.
Yeah, it's
Let's go enjoy.
Yeah, it's got a good beat to it. Steven, what did you think of the Shizuku song?
I thought it was good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it was like I'd say of the 5, I think it tracks my number 3.
I'm kind of like, my ranking is in flux basically, but I really liked all of the songs, regardless of where they end up on my individual ranking. And then the next Kanata.
I think the next bit of it was Kanata and Shizuku going to an aquarium together, and Kanata's like, this would be a nice place to perform. And then she does her song Daydream Mermaid.
Yeah.
Very cute, vibey song.
It was a cute song. I liked the music video of it. I thought it was very sort of Kanata, very dreamlike, which is what you would expect from a character like Kanata, because you see Kanata's sister and you see and Karin.
Yeah,
and
it's like how it starts off with a kind of underwater theme, but then into the chorus it goes into like sci-fi space adventure.
Yeah, which was neat.
Yeah.
Not something you'd
Like
really expect from Kanata, but
like where it's Karin and I in a little spaceship, and like Diver Diva in a little spaceship, and then Kanata's chasing after them.
yeah.
Who got the Gundam reference when they were all trying to cook in the mess hall?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's probably a reference to Odaiba itself, the
Yeah.
town where Nijigasaki takes place in, because that town actually is famous for having a life-sized Gundam statue.
I mean, not anymore.
Oh.
Like, they still do have it. There's just also another one in Yokohama, too.
I was say one of them got torn down.
I think the one in Odaiba is still there.
Let me check. I don't want to be wrong with making a joke.
I mean, it's a joke. No one's gonna fault you for it.
But at least they do show the Gundam in the anime.
Yeah, they do.
I think Setsuna has a bunch of scenes where she's in front of the Gundam.
Actually, now that I
Because
think,
Setsuna's the big weeb.
now that I think about it, I think the Kanata song was just by process of elimination my least favorite song of the bunch.
Yeah,
It was
it's definitely not my favorite Kanata song ever, but still.
which is weird because Kanata has had a lot of bangers.
Yeah, and Kanata is my favorite girl, which it makes me feel bad that her song is like one of my least favorites in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie, but
There's just so many other bangers in that movie.
yeah. But the Kanata song for what it is fine.
I'm literally going to be cosplaying Kanata tomorrow.
Yeah,
As long as it's not too hot to wear my Rio Ron jacket.
I think you'll be fine. The temperature's supposed to go down tomorrow. So.
Yeah, I think it's only going to be in like the 60s tomorrow, so I think I'll be fine. But I'm also going to wear that Pacific Racing cosplay underneath the Rio Ron jacket just in case it gets too hot. I'll still be wearing a Love Live cosplay underneath it.
It is the Yokohama Gundam that got torn down.
Okay, so the Odaiba one is fine. Good. Okay,
Yay.
so I will say Kanata does a good job of like rapping some of her lyrics because she is called upon to do a bit of rapping
Which
throughout
actually
the song.
does remind me of another anime with Ocarine, her Seiyu. Scene where it's a show called Tonikawa, where it's a little rom-com anime.
I've seen that. I've seen that show.
I've seen season 1. I haven't seen season 2 yet. I need to show it to Steven sometime.
That's a cute little show.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, but it's cute.
Yeah, where Ocarine sings the OP for that because she voices the main girl in it, where it actually does have like kind of rapping, like soft voice rapping in it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah. So
I
she can do it.
I didn't realize that she was in Tonikawa.
Yeah, she voices Tsukasa, I think is the main girl in that.
Oh, and also she's Eve from Birdie Wing.
Yeah, like, I'm so surprised that Nijagasaki's doing a little fan tour now across Japan now, where it's like 4 seiyus at a time doing a thing, and yeah, it's just Ocarine was at the last one, the most recent one they did, which surprised they actually got her in that, considering how she's such a busy seiyu now.
Sure. Okay, so that was the Kanata song, and then we come to one of my personal more favorite songs, the Emma song. Which
Emma has a little side plot where there's a girl who plays the shamisen where she looks kind of like you, except she only has one side ponytail.
Yeah, we almost thought it was you from the way that she's framed in the film trailer.
Yeah. Where it turns out the girl who plays the shamisen was also a school idol, where she's in a duo with a girl who has an orange side ponytail, looks a lot like Honoka.
Yeah.
Apparently they had a duo where the orange-haired girl was gonna sing and the black-haired girl was gonna play the shamisen, but then their group flopped, so they broke up. But shamisen girl really wanted to get the group back together, so
Emma
her and Emma become friends, and she confides to Emma about it, and Emma says, "Hey, you're gonna team up with me here."
Yeah. And then they put on this song, and it's
shamisen girl like when we listened to the songs, you said Shamisen Girl is playing like Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, she was just going ham on
I
that
said
fucking
Zenitsu, but
on that fucking shamisen. Well, Zenitsu from that one episode of Demon Slayer, but yeah, the song was really good. I really love the use of the shamisen. I thought it brought a lot to it.
Yeah, I like how Emma, the first full-blooded foreign girl in Love Live, always gets the traditional Japanese songs.
Yeah, and her. Oh, go ahead.
you will assimilate.
Yeah, like how all the white people, you can't wear a kimono, cultural appropriation. Japan, Emma.
And then yeah,
Which actually, I actually did watch a YouTube video one time of a guy going to different kimono shops in Japan asking if white people can wear the kimono, and everybody's like, yes, of course, the kimono's beautiful, just make sure you fold it left over right, because right over left is how you fold it for corpses. Please wear it the right way. But,
I didn't realize that.
yeah, because apparently the belief is that everything's backwards in the afterlife. So,
Okay.
so you fold it a different way if somebody's dead, but just remember, left over right.
So in the afterlife, my golf game gets better the longer that I play.
No, that still stinks.
Yeah, probably. But I really like the Emma song. It has a lot of personality to it. I like the kind of East meets West sort of vibe of the music video. And plus her outfit is just amazing.
I think her outfit reminds you of like a tropical bird.
Yeah. And Emma...
Caw.
Yeah. And Emma singing is, of course, fantastic. I got my eye trained on the
Emma Nesso.
On the Emma Nesso.
Yeah, I really love Churun's voice.
What?
I am. Her Seiyu nickname is Chunrun, and because Steven's YouTube feed is now just Seiyu videos. Or apparently there's one video where it was Hinaki who voices you and Chunrun. I think it must have been like right after Emma's episode of the Niji anime aired, where like they were reading fan letters where it's, I love how you and Churun interact. Or like, my name is Chunrun. It's like, so they wrote Churun, and I thought it was just a sound effect.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
I want to correct something. My feed has now become NASCAR clips, golf, and Seiyu videos.
Hey, takes one to know one. But yeah, I really like the Emma song. One of my favorite ones from the film, to be perfectly honest. And then after that, we had not really a duet. We had kind of like we had one song and then a bridge to another song and then the other song and then it ends. Then that would be Lanzu and Ayumu.
Yeah, Lanzu's song is called Phoenix. Or I think it's a song she performs like right after she meets up with her mom again and the whole the misunderstanding is settled.
Yeah. I really like that song. I said it was the Lanzu and Ayumu song together because that's how they're kind of pitched in the movie. I love both of those songs. I think they're my favorite in the film. I know Hannah disagrees with me on that, but
I love both of the songs. I just feel like Ayumu's edges out Lanzu's a bit because I love the Lanzu song still. I just feel like it's probably the most forgettable Lanzu song, honestly.
Well, that's a high bar because Lanzu has had
banger after banger after banger.
Never really
just
misses.
Slow ballad type song that she had here just probably gets lost in the shuffle.
That's fair. I thought it was interesting to see a character like Lanzu take on a song like that. I thought she pulled it off really, really well, and that's why I liked it so much, because I do like seeing characters kind of do this. That's the thing. A lot of these characters got like kind of switch up songs. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you had, except for Emma, who was doing more of the like let's put the European girl in as much Japanese stuff as possible. You gave a more energetic song to Kanata. You gave a more boisterous song to Shizuku. Yeah. You gave a more vulnerable song to Lanzu. That kind of stuff. Yeah. And I thought Lanzu's Seiyu pulled it off really well. What is her Seiyu's name?
Akina Homoto, but her nickname is Homing.
Homing. Yeah, I thought Homing really pulled it off well. And Agupon does great as in the
Her song is Stellar Stream.
Yeah, in the Ayumu song. So I rank those probably higher up, but like I said, my ranking is always in flux. But I think the two songs play off of each other well in such a way that it doesn't have to be a duet. It just it almost sounds like it should be a duet because the two songs do sound like sonically similar. It's just they are separate songs.
Right after Lanzu's song ends, it just immediately flows into Ayumu's song.
Yeah,
it shocked me when we were watching. It's like I thought there would be thought Ayumu would have a little arc between those.
Yeah, it's kind of odd how they frame some of this stuff, but I will say that the music it kind of pulls this through, because it's not like you're waiting minutes and minutes and minutes without any song. No, there's a song at good paced intervals throughout. It's just I wish there had been a stronger story throughout this film, because I think
this makes me excited for what the second movie's gonna bring, since we'll have Mia, we'll have Karin, we'll have Rina.
Yeah.
Karin, Mia, Rina, Shioriko.
Karin. Oh wait.
I said Karin.
Mia. Fuck, there's so many characters in Nijigasaki. Are we missing?
Who am I forgetting?
You.
Well, Yu's not a singer.
I know, but you is gonna be in the second movie.
Yeah. Oh, Setsuna's who I'm forgetting. Yeah. So we'll have some of what people say are the best singers.
Yeah, which I think they're all great. I think they all bring something unique to the table. But as it stands right now, I hope that there's more in store for this trilogy, because it's like it sounds like this is just the vibe I'm getting, that they want to cap things off with Nijigasaki so they can move on to like the new Love Live series, Bluebird, or
oh yeah, we could probably talk about that now.
Can we finish the?
Yeah.
Let's give our tier list review, and then we can talk about, because the Love Live world is bumping right now.
Yeah, got the sixth installment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, School Idol Project, Sunshine, Niji, Leela, School Idol Musical. So yeah, this would be the sixth installment.
Right. So the first movie in the Nijigasaki trilogy, I give a solid B tier to.
Yeah, I just wish it was longer.
I think if it had been longer, they would have been able to like make more of a story out of it.
Yeah.
Here
it just felt like blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
You'll miss the whole character arc, kind of.
It just feels like kind of just a longer episode of the anime, but as it stands,
it's like I was expecting more from it than what I got.
Yeah. I mean, it's still good characters doing good stuff. The music's great.
In fact, if we got like full length musical numbers from it instead of just like minute 30 seconds, like first verse chorus of the song. Yeah,
Steven, what's your review?
I'll say, since this is probably a setup movie, I wasn't expecting too much, because everyone knows it's going to be a trilogy, so...
Sure.
For what it did, I'd say I'd probably give it, like, B tier.
Yeah, that's what we gave it, too. Which is fair, I think.
Sorry, I got some of my background check today, so I'm checking that to make sure I'm not on any watch lists.
Well, I hope so. Well, I hope you're not on any watch lists.
Oh, yeah, for some reason, one of the apartments we applied to up in the new town, it's like, when we did the background checks for it, they responded back with a copy of our background checks, and it also says if we're on any watch lists.
Oh, well, that's...
I am on 0.
Good.
I don't have that much of an impact.
I feel like wouldn't they notify you if you were on a watch list?
I don't know, but according to them, I'm
Does the FBI notify anyone if they have a shooter in their watch list?
He was on our radar.
I'm pretty much 0s across the board except for my credit score.
Well, there you go. Anyway, so there's big news coming out of the Love Live fandom.
Actually, just on Monday of this week was the official start of Love Live Bluebird.
Yes, which had been teased earlier, like maybe about 6 months ago, something like that.
February, right at the very last stop of the Asia tour.
They
dropped the teaser trailer, which featured a little blonde-haired girl crying.
Yeah, and everyone thought this was going to be like a new dark take on Love Live, and I'll let Hannah explain like what actually ended up happening.
Yeah. So this is a Love Live series that takes place on YouTube and Twitter, which explains why it's called Bluebird, because, yeah, I guess this must have been in development hell for so long that it was still the Twitter Bluebird.
Either that or Elon just went so fucking quick with the Twitter rebranding. I'm still calling it Twitter. I'll dead name it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. And I am a boomer. It is still Twitter to me.
It's still Twitter to me. I've been on that site for
math.
I've been on that site for 12 years. I will call it Twitter.
And speaking of math, is math. The main girl that you saw crying in the trailer is a girl named Polka Takahashi. Yep, her name is fucking Polka. Like the music.
If I was any good at sound editing, I would just start
playing Weird Al.
I've been playing Weird Al, like one of his more polka themed songs.
Which, and like a couple weeks before the project officially began, people found some of the Twitter accounts that were linked to some of the girls, and yeah, the very first tweet on Polka's Twitter is just, "I failed high school. I failed my high school entrance exams. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?" And then later tweets say that she failed the math portion of the high school entrance exams, which means she wasn't crying because this was a dark take on Love Live. She was crying because she's fucking stupid.
You know,
she can't fucking do math.
I'm stupid.
I want to take note of the differences between the English Love Live fandom and the Japanese one, right? So I went over a post when she said she failed like the math one.
Oh, wait.
Everyone was like, "Oh, it's okay. You'll do better next time. We love and support you." On the English side, it's like, "Stupid girl failure. Lock the fuck in. Come on."
Yeah, that's.
I'm like, you know what? That actually gotta fix.
So yeah, our characters here. Our main protagonist, girl Polka Takahashi, who is the girl failure, which I should say the premise of Love Live Bluebird is that it takes place on an online high school.
Yeah,
virtual school.
That's kind of new.
So we have Polka, the main girl, fucking stupid, but she says that she just can't stop dancing. She just feels the need to dance when she's happy, and then apparently she catches wind that the school might shut down due to funding reasons, so that's why she decides to form a school idol group.
Right.
And then she drags in a girl called Mai to basically be her second in command. It's a girl that doesn't really want to do it, but then just decides that trying to reject her is more work than just going along with it.
Kind of like Umi.
Yeah. So, which Mai is she's kind of the Umi of this project, because her main thing is she doesn't want to go to real school because she's a programmer that stays up all night.
Right. So in meeting these characters, because we don't have a ton of information on the show, but they have been doing these like character profiles that English-speaking Love Live fans, presumably here in America, have been translating them.
Yeah, they're, as far as I know, they're fan translations and not official ones.
Yeah. I think that one channel that's been uploading them, I think she has all but 2 of them done now.
Yeah. I have to say that in watching them, there were 2 that I gravitated towards most specifically. There was Miracle and Midori.
Yep.
Yeah, Midori. And I'll start with Midori because I really like that she's she loves nature, she loves hiking, she loves being camping and what?
Polka, but you have to save the whales.
Forget saving the school, we need to save the whales.
that's why we're trying to win the Love Life, so we have the money to save the whales. But she's a very sweet character. I could just tell that, and like her motif is green, of course.
Oh, yeah.
So
her Twitter username is Little Green.
Okay, that's
which Midori actually is the word for green in Japanese.
I will say I was making a whole bunch of TFS jokes when she told me that, because that's the
Oh yeah, the little
yeah
Piccolo alien boy.
Dende in Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Dragon Ball Bridge, they call him Little Green.
So yeah, she stood out as a favorite, and I only was introduced to her today. So, and then the other character that I really like is her name. This is her name, Miracle.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like a horse at Kentucky Derby.
yeah, it sounds like a pet name, but her motif is pink. And what I like about her is she has like a life outside of doing idol stuff.
She has a bakery business.
Yeah, she has a bakery business, and she's very passionate about baking and everything, which is not only cute, but it's like it's interesting when, like, well, shit, you have a whole panel about the fact that these Love Live characters kind of had their outside interests like sort of excised from them. You know, like you had Umi as the kendo on the kendo team, and stuff like Maki being in like the orchestra band because apparently she could play the flute. You know, those things got excised in the making of Love Live, and I like that this show is apparently trying to bring back, like, these girls have like a life outside of doing Love Live stuff.
Yeah.
Not that like them being involved in Love Live is bad or anything. It just it makes the characters feel more three-dimensional. Though I did make the joke that because her name is like Miracle, the first thing I thought of was that parody of Good Times on Family Guy, where I just imagine this character.
My name is Florida.
Yeah, my name is Florida. That's the name of a state. And I just imagine Mira being like, my name is Miracle. That's the name of divine intervention. Miracle. And then you just had like Dynamite.
Polka.
But yeah, those characters stood out to me most.
I will say that my favorite's Aurora because she introduced Trader Joe's into Love Live lore.
Oh yeah,
that was hilarious.
Aurora, her whole thing is that she just came back to Japan from being in LA.
Yeah.
One of the tweets is that I got my Trader Joe's Echo bag.
Yeah.
Now listen, guys. I wonder how many homeless people tried to step over to get that Trader Joe bag. How many fent needles she had to dodge.
Yeah.
I am. Some of the other characters that we haven't mentioned yet. There's Akira, who's the sporty girl of it, where according to her Twitter, she's from Numazu. At least that's where she grew up in, and she like mentions the legendary idol groups, like legendary school idol groups, and that there was even one from Numazu. So it's pretty much implied she knows about Muse and Aqua.
Right.
And
you
then,
like the
and my favorite so far is Hanabi, which from her Twitter was just funny, where her family runs a kimono shop, so she knows a bunch about kimonos and says, I'm gonna wear a kimono to school every day. I am a kimono activist.
Yeah.
Everyone will wear the kimono and they will like it.
Yeah. So I would say that this Love Live Bluebird project is off to a good start. The song that they put out is pretty good. So I think they're off. They're starting from a place of strength. I'm interested to see what kind of projects they decide to do with this new group. I mean, they revealed who the seiyus are at this point.
I mean, some of them, they don't have the birth years for the seiyus attached. They just have like the month and the date for their birthdays. But I know at least one of them, I think it was Akira Seiyu, that was born in 2007.
Wow.
So seiyus that are almost as old as Love Live itself.
Right, yeah.
You know how old I was in 2007? 10.
I was 7.
13.
Old.
Oh yeah, there's 3 more characters I haven't mentioned yet, but I'll make it quick. There's Noriko, who her character is that she wants to become a seiyu but keeps failing auditions. And then there's Yukari, where she's kind of the boyish girl, where she's like a ballet theater girl that wants to perform the male roles.
Almost sounded like you said Eucharist, but
Yukari.
yeah,
Which
Yukari.
a lot of people always end up. A lot of people mistype it as Yukari, which just makes me think of Girls in Panzer.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Speaking of Eucharist and stuff like that, right? When I bought some Malort shots for my dear friend Kathy, and
Hi, Kathy, if you're watching this. I know you want to be part of Off the Balcony.
and as the woman who was checking me out bagged on my Malort, she said the blood of Christ.
Yeah.
And so I had that little
It's
fun
that shit
interaction.
that turned the villain of Indiana Jones 3 into a skeleton, like, immediately.
And, the funny thing is, on my little excursion today, the doors to Benny's just decided they didn't want to work, so we forced them open. So we forced our way into heaven.
There you go. All right, this
And
last
then
character.
There's one last character named Shion, who, from what we know about her Twitter, is that she is a streamer, who also constantly has arguments with her parents, and that pretty much everything at this point is pretty much shrouded in mystery with her. Her bio video hasn't been translated yet, but apparently a lot of it is just question marks intentionally, and we don't even know that much about her Seiyu either. Like, we know her Seiyu's name, like Aoi something, but yeah, apparently like her Seiyu agency hasn't even put out that much information about her.
Gotcha.
So, okay, so you said
I think they're pretty much doing whatever they can to keep this character specifically a mystery.
Interesting.
You said her name was Shion, and I almost said who because I had the
Kingdom
Hearts brain. So I'm gonna explain this one for Wade and for the audience. Shion was a character made by the some of the evil honchos to replace another character, and her name, because in this evil organization they do like your name backwards plus an X. If you saw that a lot when you were growing up and like in high school, now you know it's from Kingdom Hearts, and I don't apologize, it was a thing that happened. And so her name backwards was number I, which is an imaginary number, which means she doesn't exist. So when she has to go back, when she has to return her memories to the original body, which is Sora, which I am not going to explain that. Look at Kingdom Hearts lore if you want. I ain't getting into that shit. We've been recording for 2 hours. It's too fucking long. When she has to sacrifice herself to make sure one of the two lives, the downside to that is that people forget about her. So whenever someone says, "Oh, Shion's my favorite character," everyone's like, "Who? Who?"
I get you.
Also, she was a puppet, so whenever people bring up Pinocchio from the series, they always flash up Shion on the fucking screen, and I hate them for it.
Okay, so I think we've said all that we can about Love Live Bluebird.
Oh yeah, we're also getting solo songs of each of the girls, which is making people think this is pretty much Niji Part 2.
Right.
Niji on Twitter.
That does make sense considering they're all online school, so I can't really get together that much if you're all in different cities.
Yeah, I mean...
yeah, August 27th, we're getting the first batch with Polka and Mai.
Nice. So look out for that, August 27th.
I swear to God, if Polka...
August through October, we're getting...
I swear to God, if Polka that comes out with like a polka single, I am going to lose myself. Drinks will be flowing because this is so stupid.
We can finally have Love Live in Wisconsin.
Oh, God.
Hey,
hey, we can do the Illinois State Dance and just start square dancing to this shit.
Next year at Amki, when get to the Polka Vader, just put a picture of Polka Takahashi on
Yeah.
it.
She can join John Candy's group from Home Alone.
You know what? Speaking of Amki, I wonder what that guy's going to do this next year for Amki.
Oh, yeah, the guy that made the memorial to the Polkanator.
Oh,
Polka
yeah.
Vader.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The Polka Escalator.
Oh, Polka-later.
Polka-later, yes. He dresses up as things that the Barrett Center decided to kill. So I wonder what he's going to dress up as this year.
Stickers.
Stickers, probably.
Well,
giant sticker bin. That'd be hilarious.
They didn't do a good job of that, but so Love Live Bluebird done. We don't really have a rating because we haven't really seen it yet.
I think we already talked about the Niji movie.
Yep, Niji movie.
Love Like Bluebird. We wish luck and happiness and prosperity.
Yep. Can't wait to see what you got. You're gonna be great, regardless of like how you decide to approach us. And now, last but not least,
well, the next one on our list is something that we need to watch. We really needed to watch if we were going to do this music anime panel, which I managed to snag the entire complete collection of the series from the Sentai Black Friday sale for $30.
Right.
The K-On! Complete Collection.
And we watched
K-On! Season 1.
K-On! Season 1.
That's where the girls band genre began.
I really liked it. I really liked K-On! Season 1. I thought the thing is, it's not very plot heavy. Like, the premise kind of carries the show in like the different kind of scenarios that these girls get into.
I also like how the Sentai back of the box plot synopsis of K-On! For like the English release makes it seem like Ritsu's the main character.
Right.
It's all about Ritsu wants to form a band.
Which is true. It's just they're framing it a bit incorrect or a bit incompletely because...
So really our main character is Yui Hirasawa, the girl failure.
Yes.
Failure before girl failure was even a term.
Yeah. Yui is hilarious. I mean, all of the girls are hilarious, but...
She is pretty much a failure, but the kindest way of that term.
Yeah.
She's stupid, but not in an infuriating way.
Yeah, she's a lovable loser.
Yeah. I think this is where the term moe came from with her, where it's just the cuteness you want to protect.
Yes. And so Yui decides, you know what, I'm going to join, well... She
ends up getting lured into the light music club because they have sweets.
They have sweets, and they need, like... They basically need another ass in the seat.
Yeah, it's like they got Ritsu on drums, and of course Ritsu brings her childhood friend Mio in on bass.
I think that's the funniest part because she just ripped up Mio's...
Mio's like, I'm gonna join the literary club.
No, you ain't.
Yeah, Ritsu just rips up the club application.
Ritsu's my favorite character.
She's basically the Eddie.
Yeah, she's Eddie. She's constantly running hustles and scams to try and make the light music club work, and it's fucking hilarious. I love Ritsu.
Yeah. Then they get Sumugi, aka Mugi, in on keyboard because she tries to join the choir club, but then just gets so entranced with Ritsu and Mio's banter. It's like, I wanted to go to a public high school just to meet interesting people like you guys. I'm joining.
I'll kick it with the pores for this semester.
Oh, God. And then we get Yui.
Yui's a likable...
Yui, I kind of relate to Yui because later on in the season we get Azusa. Mm-hmm. And Azusa tried to talk...
Azusa, actually, the girl that actually tries that guitar.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not really that good, but I'll play with you guys. And then just rips out a sick solo.
And just starts playing like Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I really love how they rip out like guitar celebs like Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan when she performed, but they have Azusa's fucking pigtails on them.
Yeah.
That was great.
Also that opening scene where everybody thinks Yui's a guitar pro or something.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
It's like, so who's your favorite guitarist? Like, Jimi Hendrix? Jeff Beck?
Well, that was the thing.
There's so many guitarists named
kind of a sad bit of news. This show, K-On! Season 1, is how I found out that Jeff Beck from the Yardbirds died
in 2023.
Died a couple years ago. Because I looked up, because they name dropped Jeff Beck, and I was like, oh, that's a name I haven't looked up. I hadn't heard from in a while. So I looked him up and realized he died a couple years. I mean, don't worry. He was ancient when he passed. He was like in his upper 80s, but still sad.
The Yardbirds, like a band from the 60s.
Early 60s. Like, they got started around 1961, I think.
Yeah, I think Eric Clapton was one of their original guitarists before he went to join Cream.
Yeah. So that's an... Oh, grow up.
I will be 28 and laughing at these fucking jokes forever.
It's fair. One meme of, like, the guy saying, like, this is the worst way you could say you're listening to Eric Clapton. He's saying, I'm blasting Cream.
Anyway, back to my original point. When Azusa joins, she tries to do all the technical talk to Yui, And
Yui just stares at her blank. And Asusa's like, hey, Yui, can you bend that note? What's bending?
my favorite when she starts using guitar lingo like over and over and over, and then Yui just starts having steam coming out of her head.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, that was me when I was like, because I'm a self-taught guitarist. Holy shit, this drink's making me hard to think. And self-taught bassist at this point, kind of.
Yeah, you've been learning from mine.
Yes. Oh, you're just I'm married now.
You play with mine while I'm at work.
That's a sentence.
So,
so I've been
It's okay.
It was just the way you phrased that sentence is maybe kind of.
Could you roll on with
Yeah,
it, please?
sorry. Hannah fucking tripped me up.
All right, go.
I kind of identify with Yui because if someone starts speaking me guitar speak, I won't fucking know what they're talking about. But if they tell me simple terms like bend the note, sure, I know what the fucking means. Don't tell me to choke it.
Yeah,
because I'm gonna start thinking about you talking about BDSM over there. Like, what the fuck are you doing with the guitars?
Yeah. No, I mean, here's the thing with K-On! This is just my take of the show. This show is really a show that is like, it's not really plot heavy. It really, I think your enjoyment of the show goes as far as you like these characters.
Cute girls doing cute things.
Yeah, and I really like these characters. So the show has quite a bit of mileage for me. At least from season 1,
and you finally know the legendary anime songs of "Don't Say Lazy" and "Fwa Fwa Time."
Yeah, those were good songs. And Hannah, you told me that like this is one of the most musically accurate anime because the way they're playing in the show is how like that music would actually sound.
Like where their hands are on the instruments, or where they actually would be if you're actually playing the song.
Yeah.
And what I did notice when they did the music, like when they did the performance segments, they actually did do live vocal takes. Like they're not just doing the studio version there.
Like they would play in studio while voice acting?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least for the performance things, actually did have like Aki Toyosaki and Yoko Hikasa actually just doing like one take there in the studio, and then just like, hey, that's a take we're using for this. That's what we're using for this scene.
Okay, and this was another show where we watched the ED.
Yeah, because
each time because
"Don't Say Lazy" is one of those classic anime songs,
and it's a good song.
The server made me agree that you are not going to skip this one.
No, it was good. It's a good song. I mean, all the songs in K-On! That I've heard so far are good. But yeah, it's not really plot heavy. It's more kind of like it's very episodic. Like whatever the situation is for, 1, 2, whatever the case episodes, that's going to be like kind of what you're dealing with. Like very small arcs, but the characters have big personalities. And if you like these characters, you can really vibe with this show. And I was able to. So.
Yeah. Then from what I know, K-On! Season 2 is twice the length of Season 1, and I think it's just even more of just a slice of life.
That's what I like about it. It's not like to compare it to like Beck. It's not even close to being as heavy, but it's much easier to watch. Like the characters are all super likable, even when they're just committing just
dicking around.
Yeah, just dicking around. It's like you sit there and they're like, okay, I guess we're doing this for this episode, and
from what I know, the movie that concludes the series is basically after the initial 4. They graduate and then they go on a trip to London as a band. And then it's Asusa there trying to figure out, what am I gonna do when all of you leave?
Oh, okay. Right.
We're gonna cry
because she's like the youngest.
Yeah, like everyone else would be a third year graduating then, and she's a year behind them.
Okay, that makes.
I will say the one negative about K-On! Is I haven't learned how to be racist yet. Because I see all these like K-On! PFPs being used and say the most heinous shit on Twitter.
Just
Yui would not say that.
Yeah, wild out of pocket shit, and it's just a picture of Mugi just doing peace signs.
Yui does not have the brain cells to be this racist.
I will
And
say,
her heart's too big.
Yeah.
I would say my PFP is Keon doing a fucking doing a fucking face palm, right? I'm not sure what he'd say, but I'm pretty sure he'd probably be in line with what I'm doing, like my literally me.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all these like Keon like stars like saying the most heinous shit online, and I'm like, why is this show not teaching me how to do that?
Yeah. What are you getting out of this that I am not?
I'm trying to figure that out.
I mean, I'm glad I'm not getting that out of it, but I just want to understand is all. But I mean, obviously we jest, but
yeah, that was a joke in case people couldn't
yeah,
tell.
but I had a good time with season 1. I can't wait for season 2 and the movie. I love all these characters. Ritsu, like I said, is my favorite. Hannah, who's your favorite?
I think Asa.
Azusa?
No, she was my favorite when I was younger because that was back when I really played guitar a lot. So I thought she's so me for real.
Fair enough. What about you?
I'm a Mio fan.
Mio's good. I like all of them. You may have caught this in the group chat, but the only one that I don't really get right now is Mugi. I like Mugi. I think she's funny. It's just she's kind of she doesn't have like a whole lot of development.
I mean, this show really just runs on stereotypes most of the time. So it's like these characters ain't deep. It ain't that deep.
Yeah, it ain't that deep. But
this is at least one of the shows from that era that really put KyoAni on the map.
Oh, for sure.
I have to put this in perspective that this show is actually responsible for forming a lot of Japanese bands.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because apparently when this show hit, like, this only rivals Bochi in the amount of recorded sales in guitar stores, like music shops of people buying instruments. Or there's, like, K-On! Was, like, record numbers of people going out to buy guitars.
Yeah.
And then it dipped for a little bit for a while, and then when Bochi aired, then there was a surge in guitar sales.
Right. Well, I imagine, like you said, it probably inspired a lot of people, which is funny. Go ahead.
Another time when I can bring up Akari Kito. It's kind of weird. Another fun fact about her is that apparently she got into singing because I think it was her middle school where she joined the light music club there, where she wanted to play bass because she loved Mio from K-On! But somebody else already picked bass, so she was left doing the singing duty.
Well, I mean...
So that's the domino effect to the goddess Kanata.
Yeah, there you go.
She wanted to be Mio, ended up being Yui.
Yeah. So, as it stands right now, I gave K-On! Season 1 an A tier. There's nothing to hate about this show. It's just... it's like Steven said, it's not that deep, but it's also very, very fun and light, and you can just watch it and have a great time with it.
I think my favorite bit about it is that their advisor that they kind of hoodwinked into being their advisor was part of the light music club, but they just turned into like a death metal Marilyn Manson-esque thing.
Yeah.
So things apparently her crush in high school is like, I like wild girls, and she like goes whole Alice Cooper mode. It's like, you took it too far.
It's like I asked for Joan Jett, not
Alice Cooper.
Yeah, Alice Cooper. So what do you guys give K-On! Season 1?
Give it a high A tier.
A tier.
Same. All right. We've got one more thing on the anime roundup. Something that we watched. Do we want to talk about the Shinkai?
Yeah.
Okay. So big surprise. Makoto Shinkai released a short film like this week.
Well, actually, when I looked it up further, because I just got one of those random news articles that pops up on my phone saying there's a Makoto Shinkai movie you can watch on YouTube right now. So I looked it up and doing more research into it. Apparently, this was a little short film he made in like 2013. Uploaded it to YouTube for a few weeks and then privated it, but people had subtitled it, and then just last week people were just writing articles about it. Like, there's a Shinkai short film you can watch on YouTube right now, subtitled.
Okay, I've got some specific thoughts on the short film, but why don't you guys do the plot while I go to the bathroom?
Alright. So it's a movie
I
called...
can't guarantee that I won't cry for a second time today.
Yeah. Stuff about family is Steven's emotional spot.
Yeah.
So yes, a movie called Dareka no Manazashi. It translates to somebody's gaze. It's
Yep.
like Gaze. So yeah, that's the title everybody's gone with. So it's about a girl named Aya who just recently grew up and moved out of the house. Her father's trying to reconnect with her, but she kind of blows him off until she gets a call from him where they find out the family cat just died.
Yeah.
And then the movie just kind of recaps her actually from the cat's perspective, just going through her childhood and it's like her relationship with her parents. And then just eventually just ends with the family getting a new cat and the mom who was working overseas finally coming home.
I do want to pause before we get into anything heavy. The cat that they got looked like the dog from Beck, and it kind of threw me a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it kind of did. So I assume Hannah laid out the plot.
Yeah, she just laid out the plot.
Okay, real quick. Do any of you... Do you remember when we went to go see Suzume?
Yeah.
Do you remember how we watched...
Oh, I think that's what fucked me up today. I had Suzume. I had, like, the main thing from
Girl and her
Suzume.
cat?
Actually.
There was the... Well, yeah, we watched that 40-minute short film that Makoto Shinkai...
I think that was like his student...
Yeah, the student film that he did. But there was the film before that, the little short film about the
cat.
cat.
When we went through it, was about to do that, you guys showed me that one too.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, it was only about 45 minutes of our time. That short film is what this reminded me of. It didn't feel like a remake per se, but it felt like he was taking some of those...
A different direction?
Yeah, exactly. In a different direction, and because now he had, like, the full force of, being Makoto Shinkai, that he could bring to bear on this short film. But I'm just surprised that you said this is from like 2013, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I thought he put this out like this week.
Yeah. Which something I did notice about this when I watched it at first, it threw me off, is that this is just a very relatable story.
Yeah.
I think that's also why it kind of fucked me up.
Yeah, it's a very relatable story, but it just kind of throws in just subtle sci-fi elements where when the dad calls the girl, where it just shows up as like a giant like flat screen display type thing, or it's like touch screens the wall to press the call button.
Yeah. I mean, you see that in Shinkai films quite a bit. Like, you remember Place Promised in our early days where they had that big sci-fi spire. You had 5
centimeters per second.
Yeah, I almost said 5 seconds of summer.
Was that the one of the girls going into space?
Yes, yeah. Oh, no, 5 centimeters per second is...
Oh, that was the train movie?
The train movie. But I did remember that, the student film, Voices of a Distant Star.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, which was, for a student film in 2002, that was fucking amazing. Like, to start off that strong. But, with...
Oh, yeah. I should say what you said as soon as you finished watching Dareka no Masasashi, Somebody's Gaze.
What
you said about it is... Makoto Shinkai does more in 7 minutes when most people can do in 90 minutes.
Yeah. And it's true. I stand by that because everyone, there's a common criticism that you see mainly amongst like super pretentious like anime bros, which I do my best to distance myself from because I want nothing to do with them. But they'll be like,
the most greasy motherfuckers you ever meet.
Yeah, they'll be like Makoto Shinkai is all style, no substance.
Like,
it's like,
fuck this movie
you.
Almost made me cry when I watched it yesterday.
There are 2 anime movies in existence, or 2 anime movies in existence that have ever made me cry. One was this Shinkai short.
And
what was the other one?
Rascal Does Not
Dream. Knapsack Kid. Rascal Does Not Dream of a Knapsack Kid.
Okay.
The other the family one.
Made it almost through, and then the last
When the mom comes back
the
to...
mom, yeah, when she comes back, I'm like, and done.
Yeah. It was actually
clocked my shit right there.
It was actually kind of funny because Steven watching this new Shinkai film, Somebody's Gaze, well, new, it's 2013.
New.
Yeah,
Steven got, like,
yeah,
I'm not putting you on blast, by the way, but got super emotional at it. I was like, and I'm sitting over here, like, just kind of stoically watching the film, and I was like, oh, this is brilliant. We came to the same conclusion, it's just we expressed it differently.
I will say, this was just like Rascal Does Not Dream of the Knapsack Kid. The last few fucking minutes,
Yeah.
or at least in the Shinkai one, the last few seconds fucking broke me.
Yeah.
And this is my I told you so moment where I did tell you yesterday we should watch it, but you just decided to watch golf videos all night instead.
I didn't want
to. In my defense, I didn't want to cry.
It's like, I figured since me and Wade were probably going to talk about this, that you should probably watch it too, and then you...
And then Wade said, yeah, no, I haven't watched it yet either. So it's
Yeah.
just fine.
So I watch it on my phone. He watches it on the
his
television.
phone. No,
He watched it on his phone.
I was about to pull it up on the TV, but said, no, I'm having it pulled up on my phone already.
Yep.
So yeah, I stand by that. Shinkai is not all style, no substance. Shinkai was able to put together a film where you like really feel for these characters and like the drama and the separation and the feelings of grief and loss in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
In 7 minutes.
Yeah, you can break a human being in 7 minutes when most people try to do in like 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, how long was that Rascal Does Not Dream movie? That was
like almost 2 hours.
Yeah, almost 2 hours.
Around about 2 hours.
Around about 2 hours, and then like probably 2-3 minutes before the credits, it fucking hits me like a brick.
Yeah. So around about 2 hours, and then you have this Shinkai movie doing it basically in like a
fraction of the time.
A fraction of that time. So yeah, I think that Shinkai's reputation is very well deserved as being, one of the anime's greatest, and I had not expected there to be a day of like anime addition to this podcast, but what I said for I gave my ranking a very high A tier because to do this at all was super impressive.
I mean, I put it in S tier just because it's just amazing how it just 7 minutes just made just that much of a gut punch.
Yeah, I mean it's brilliant. And
I call it a dick kick, but yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. Well, it might be kind of awkward about how you would release this. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? Just throw this onto the Suzume DVD and call it a day? Or actually, when this came out, he was working on Garden of Words. So I don't know.
Actually, one thing I did find out when I was, the voice of the cat that's the dead cat that's actually the narrator of the film.
Yeah.
Is Fumi Hirano.
Really?
Who, if you know that name, you probably know it from my Love Live panel. Was the voice of Mari's mom, who was the original voice of Shin-chan.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I mean that's all awesome. But yeah, I give this very high A tier, almost an S tier. It's just impressive what you like, astonishing what you can do. Like less is more, as they say. So, and I was
broken. I was a broken man.
Yeah. I actually had to excuse myself from the room so Steven could compose himself.
I could compose myself and could get happy by watching all the Niji videos.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at myself for what I felt
It's
like I needed to do to give you space to
It's all right.
recover.
No, I've become a little bit more emotional as the years have gone on. I think I've just stopped giving a shit about what I think about people, so it's
I
alright.
get it. You reach a point like that in your life that it's just like, you know what, this is
the
just
point
who
of maturity where you don't have to give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I have white hairs on my chin, and my beard, and my mustache. I'm done.
Listen, I will say this: the 7 minutes was very, very good. Is it going to be enough to tide me over till the next Shinkai movie? I don't know. Come on, Makoto. Let's see the next movie. Let's do it. But I only want it if it's ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been very consistent. He tends to release them about once every 2-3 years. And it'll be 3 years this year since we got our last Shinkai movie, which would have been Suzume. And, I mean, obviously that was great. Before that, Weathering with You. I liked Weathering with You. It was just
like it wasn't really like the ending wasn't as good as like Your Name and Suzume.
Well, the ending of Weathering with You is a bit problematic, kind of, because
flood Japan because I like a girl.
Yeah,
I want to get my dick wet, so Japan should get wet.
It's like, okay. Your Name, obviously.
he feels like the guy who would think, you know what, Japan deserved that second bomb.
Your Name.
Garden of Words is still S tier.
Yeah, Your Name.
Hot teacher.
It was alright.
Every time I hear Garden of Words, I keep thinking about that guy who
the Aura emo guy.
Yeah,
from
I keep thinking of him, so I kind of ruined
Man,
it myself.
I thought he was alright.
That guy was so cool right up until he brought Siscon into it.
All right, but for somebody's gays, we all give it like an S tier.
Yeah, A tier.
You know what? I'll give it an S tier because like to be that strong of a story
in just 7 minutes.
In 7 minutes is something that, I mean, that's special. Like to have a talent like that strong is, you know, you don't find that every day, and obviously, you know, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. No, Shinkai is that guy. He's that guy.
All right. Before we get to where we're gonna end at this point,
I think we're done with the anime roundup now.
So I'm gonna just say again, for people who actually watched this all the way to the end, 1, thank you for keeping your attention span longer than the average Zoomers. 2, if you guys know an artist who we can commission to make a 5th piece of art, let us know. Let me get into contact with whomever you choose, so that way, 1, I can show them on our link tree, link.tree/off the balcony, and that has everything that you need to connect. I'll have that link in the description below. Probably gonna redo how I do it in the description so I can actually put the link at the top there. But so this way we can get our Redbubble store open and actually start selling merch to everyone, because right now I didn't know we only did 3. Also, I am sorry about that Teespring store. I will get to it, I swear to God.
Okay.
But just job got me.
So no more announcements then?
Other than that, I was just reiterating announcements.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you at ACEN. If not, you've got our SummerCon schedule. Thank you for your time.
If you want to see us host panels, see us at the end of June for Planet FunkCon.
Yep, the first place that you can see us. All right, thank you all for joining us. You guys have been fantastic. Have a great evening. Have a happy ACEN.
Bye.
Have a good night.